Dun, 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 dun.
There we go.
People sitting down. Excellent.
That's what we want.
What about? Means we're live. Facebook hasn't realized that yet.
Mm-hmm.
It never does. Never.
Or Facebook.
It never realizes. Now that I think about it, I don't think I did that right. Ha! Alright guys, welcome in. Hopefully everything's started.
Happy Friday the 13th.
Oh yeah, I heard that right before I came here and I was like, well, this was the right day to sleep in and do nothing. I'm actually like not a superstitious person at all, so
yeah,
so
me neither.
so Trace, my roommate, he goes, whoa, you just said that. You better knock on wood just in case. And I go, for you. For you. All right, let's see what we've got going on here.
We got some people sitting down. We haven't quite been updated yet, so we'll
all right,
get you guys situated.
I at least know who these two people are, so we'll start here. Is everything up and going? Looks like we are.
I think we're running.
Oh, I didn't update the information. Dang it.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Alright, so this is Tim. He went out of his way to get a 4-color control deck. And hey, how's it going, Hackbert? Yeah, Tim versus, I believe this is Jeff.
Hello, hello, hello.
Whoa. D&T. You know Tim? Yeah, you do know Tim. D&T is what I'm guessing. I see some white cards.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be good.
I see a Thalia, it looks like.
All right, starting things off. Tim playing this deck for the first time, so naturally we have to throw him on camera.
Of course.
Right.
Scalding Tarn, fetching out an Underground Sea. Just typical 4-color things. Let's see what he follows that up with. It looks like it's gonna be a Deathrite Shaman.
Yeah, this is a solid start, and Death and Taxes doesn't have a ton of removal in it, so
yeah,
if it's not a Swords to Plowshares, then usually you can count on this Deathrite Shaman being used on turn 2.
Yep. Jeff not off to a particularly strong start here either, with just plains no Aether Vial or Mother of Runes to get things going. And here we see a turn 2 Liliana enter the board on Tim's side.
This seems really good against Jeff.
Yeah.
Okay,
strong card.
So Liliana can give -2/-1 to a creature until your next turn. The whole -1 to your toughness thing, I think that's the important part in this matchup, where Thalias and Flicker Whips and Mother of Ruins,
oh yeah,
they're just gonna get picked off by Thalia or by Liliana.
Yep. Jeff off to a pretty slow start, just porting down that Underground Sea.
Any brews tonight? Not that I've seen, but somebody could surprise me. I definitely do not get to see all the deck lists before we start streaming.
We're always on the look for new brews, though.
Yeah.
Here comes the Thought Siege. We're going to get a better look at Jeff's hand over here.
See, normally I think this hand would be quite decent. He's got a couple Thalias, so the first one that dies, you have a backup.
Sure.
And then you've got a Flicker Wisp and a Mirror Crusader.
And a Caracas, just in case you're playing against some sort of combo-y deck.
Yeah.
Nourishing Lich. Yeah, I've seen a Nourishing Lich deck. It's pretty spicy. Takes a Thalia. Kind of surprised to see that with the Liliana in play.
Yeah, that is surprising. I think I would have taken the Mirror Crusader. He must have a lightning bolt. He must. Like, what else? Why else would you take something else?
Here comes Mirror Crusader.
Yep. Okay.
And
or just gonna force it. Okay.
now that's unforceable from Cavern.
Yeah. Did name human. Now Tim's going. I took the wrong one.
Yep. Now, it's not the end of the world.
No.
But it is going to be a little bit harder to get through.
This deck doesn't have a ton of lightning bolts in it, but
it should
that's
keep that Liliana in line a little bit.
He'll take 2 hits. I think he has that time. So.
Yep. Tim plays land number 4. Cast Ponder. Looking at the top 3.
A grave error. A grave error. That's the thing that happens when you like lose the game, right?
There's no error in that graveyard.
And Kylie, which friend are you talking about? Which friend are you saying hi to? Yeah, it must be me.
Has to be.
It has to be. I don't spot any other of her friends.
So yeah. Liliana unable to uptick on the Mirror Crusader, but is able to uptick choosing no targets. At the very least, it should gain him a decent amount of life.
Yeah, it's gonna gain him 8 life.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Meant to say friends.
Here, after this game, I'll get their life totals onto the map there.
Screen.
Yeah. Oh no, you're backpedaling. Alright, well here's something to kill. Oh, he did have a lightning bolt. And he just scoops!
Wow.
Done.
Wow.
And guess who got bailed out of that one? Alright, I'm going to run out there and get their life totals on screen. Until then, I'm going to show you guys our other matchup. So this is Terry versus Travis.
It looks like we've got Delver versus some mountains. Deathrite Shaman coming down.
All right. So we got
Terry. Money on burn. Yeah, I'd agree. It's probably burn.
Okay. Look at this. Terry is still on Canadian threshold. He wasn't done after Tuesday. So this is Teamer, Delver, or whatever you want to call it. Your Rug Delver.
You're gonna enrage some people with the Teamer Delver, I'm sure.
Why else say that? Okay. Travis on some burn.
Eidolon, the Great Revel coming in.
Terry looks to be in a pretty good position.
Dazed. Barbarian Ring.
So this ring, I think it is turned on.
Threshold.
No, we only have 6 cards.
I see 6 currently. It's gonna be a pretty quick clock here.
Now that I've evaluated the board state, I actually like the Rug Delver in this game. Oh,
it must be on because he activated there to kill the Delver. Takes 4
maybe
from the
just one slightly off screen, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Delver's the follow-up play by Terry. Never a good sign for the burn player when he starts pointing burn at creatures.
No. Yep, this is going to take care of the Delver and... Okay, we got Force as well.
Get Force.
Hey, it still dealt 1 damage.
Yeah.
force of will helping Travis out, said no one ever.
One card in hand left, and we're going to see a fire blast on that Hooting Mandrills. And yeah, definitely not where you want to be if you're Travis.
No flip though.
No flip, in for one.
And we have another Hooting Mandrills.
Tapping 2 mana. Here comes second Mandrills, and I'd assume that this is good enough.
Yeah, good timing. We can head over to the other.
Yep.
Head back to the other match they're about done shuffling. Yeah, too bad. All right, let's jump back over.
All right, looking at some hands.
Yeah.
Ban Delver.
Ban Delver. Delver's the problem.
Delver's always the problem. Nope, Tim's going to take a mulligan.
I think that's got to be a pretty good thing for Jeff.
I'd have to imagine, though, like, overall, Jeff has to be favored in this matchup, in my opinion. If he's on the play and has a decent draw, he's able to lock out Tim out of a lot of things. Tim has to use his mana he has to use kind of a greedy mana base, and Jeff's deck is built on punishing that type of deck.
I agree. Not only that, but like how well does Tim's deck beat Mother of Runes or Aether Vial for that matter? Like,
sure,
aren't the 1-drops like the most terrifying thing?
Like, I think unless you see another draw like Tim did last game, and here we see a Mother of Runes on one for Jeff, which is a much stronger start. We also see Wasteland, and it looked like a port in hand.
And he also has a Rest in Peace.
So here we see Rest in Peace. And I'm not sure how I feel about Rest in Peace as a sideboard. I suppose it does stop Deathrite, which is a big...
Turns off Deathrite completely. Some of these decks do have Snapcaster Mage, and usually if you're running Snapcaster Mage, then you're going to have Kolaghan's Command. So those are kind of the cards that it's stopping. And of course it doesn't hurt Jeff at all.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I'd say it's pretty medium. Like, my concerns are, it really depends on what you're cutting for it, I think. What you have to do for the matchup. Silent Gravestone is an interesting option. Yeah.
Brian was playing that card the other day, and he thought the activation was 1, so that when he noticed it was 4,
yeah.
Oh man, he about died. He's like, this card's not as good as I thought it was.
Invasive Surgery is for pesky sorceries.
Maybe Show and Tell, maybe... I'm not sure. There's a lot of decks that... Okay.
Just a thing. Here comes a hymn.
Miracles. Riley Cold, I don't... What miracles? I don't know what you're talking about. But Finn's been shallow and zoom around it.
Yeah.
Alright. 1 card down, it's a Plains. Second card
is another
Krakus.
Plains. No.
Krakus. Yeah. So he's
upside down Krakus.
Yeah, so he's not left with a whole lot. He could use a threat. Hey, look, Stoneforge.
I think that qualifies as a threat.
I think so too.
Also, Wasteland is pretty good to have here. Important Miracles.
I'm not sure if Josh is here. He might be.
Alright, Recruiter of the Guard coming down.
Riley, you are the only one.
That's going to find a Thalia.
Okay. The other card was Recruiter. That seems great. Now, Tim's definitely on the back foot.
Jeff really being patient here, not using that Wasteland right away. I think that's the right call, because you'd much rather take Tim off of a third color as opposed to just taking out one of the underground seas.
Agreed.
Especially when you've got port in play already. Like, he'd much rather go out after that red source, I believe. And here comes a deluge. I think that's perfectly fine.
Is this the right time to fire it off?
Or... It seems quite early to me.
I think I would have waited for one more thing. He has already seen the Thalia, but maybe he doesn't.
I think he's really worried about being constrained on mana.
If he doesn't have another land, then I'm okay with him playing it here, because Thalia comes down. Next thing you know, you can't cast it. And
well, now
now
we got some problems, right? We've got 2 wastelands. That's going to take out an underground sea and Badlands, and that's going to leave Tim with 1 underground sea and volcanic island. Okay,
not the worst.
Not the worst. I think if Tim didn't have another mana source, that was going to be quite brutal.
So the draw is Aether Vial. I think he's just going to play his Stoneforge Mystic.
Sure.
And what do you find here?
I'd be really tempted to get Sword. Just gives you extra cards in the matchup. It protects you from burn, and it allows you to swing past a lot of their creatures.
Okay. And that is the decision he goes for. Yeah, and I agree with this. It makes it easy to get past this Baleful Strix and any other creatures in the deck for the most part. Batterskull doesn't really beat Baleful Strix very well. However, Thalia does have First Strike.
Batter might just eat a K command, yeah, but Sword might as well. The thing is, Tim's so far away from casting either of those 2 cards that it's going to be a minimum of 2 turns, and you'd rather just get the value, I think, off of Sword in that time.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, this is good. Definitely taking the Sword.
Take Sword.
And he has another land. Wow, he's actually had, for how good Jeff's draw has been, I feel like Tim is still just fine.
Yeah, Tim's been fighting back pretty hard here. Being able to keep making those land drops has been really pretty critical. Still a little bit behind on board, but 3 cards in hand. So here we see an attack for 3. I think we'll just see a port activation. Tim down to 10. Activate, target your underground sea. And says okay. Draw this card. Another land for Tim. Wow. Now, Baleful Strix on defense. It's really only going to prevent 1 damage a turn, given that Thalia has First Strike.
It's probably worth it. I mean, the damage he's dealing to Jeff is, that doesn't matter.
Sure.
Not at this point, so.
It might save him like 1 fetch land activation or something like that. Tim is falling rather low. If he cracks both those fetches, he's down to 6. Second Stoneforge.
All right. Jeff's like, I don't need draw manipulation. Everything's fine. Everything's going just well.
This is fine. Looks at Jite, picks Jite.
Guess it's the next best thing. It's not as good as. Well, I guess how much are you fearing Leovold at this point?
I don't think you're terribly afraid of Leovold, although Leovold would be a decent draw. Not sure what Tim has in his sideboard for the matchup other than Deluge.
Probably not a lot. Okay, Council's Judgment. Still no land number 3 for Jeff.
Land light after that him on Jeff's side. But I think if you're Jeff, you're pretty content here just to keep attacking for 2, get that GT into play, and then equip and go to town. You're still pretty far ahead. Interesting.
I don't mind this.
That's okay. Attacks with one of the stone forges.
I think he has a Snapcaster. I think this is going to be Ambush Viper Snapcaster coming in to beat the 1/2.
That's interesting. Yeah, here it comes. Ambush Viper, your Stoneforge.
That's about as good as Snapcaster.
I think I'd be very happy if that was what happened off of that from Jeff.
Oh yeah,
pretty happy.
That's how far Tim is going to prevent 1 damage.
Yeah.
And Tim's gonna have to crack at least one of these fetch lines at some point.
Sure.
So he's definitely fighting to survive.
Yep.
Crack both?
Looks like double crack. Down to 4. Interesting. I wonder what Tim has here.
I think it's another Snapcaster that he's gonna throw in here.
If that's what it is, I think Jeff would be virtually fist pumping in his mind.
What else are you gonna do with the Snapcaster though, right?
True. I mean, run it out, but
yeah,
it's not really gonna attack in. You can block and activate Stoneforge. You can easily equip. It is, yeah. Easily equip Thalia next turn, get in, get some counters, and go to town on the defense.
I think it's going to be Baleful Strix number 2. Just a bunch of creatures to kind of wall off for a turn or 2.
Yeah.
Well, once this Jite connects, though.
Turn. We're going to see an activation.
I don't know what he's debating over.
He's thinking whether he wants to port end of turn or whether he wants to Stoneforge activate.
I see no reason to.
This might be in response to Stoneforge activation. Here comes a Colligan's Command. Okay. Still unsure why that.
No, I think he's porting. Because the Stoneforge hasn't tapped.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So 2 damage to Thalia and discard. Discards Council's Judgment or Aether Vial. It should be Aether Vial, I think.
More than likely.
Is that a Flicker Wisp?
It is a Flicker Wisp. Yeah, Vial hits Exile.
Yep.
And Thalia's gone as well.
Now that's pretty big.
Gotta feel bad. It's gotta feel bad for Tim doing that though when he knows Jite's in Jeff's hand.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you're using your K command on.
Yeah.
And poor Jeff just cannot find a land for his life. I think he just drew Sarah Avenger with
port in play. Yeah.
Yeah, with port snow covered plains
and having just gotten rid of Aether Vial. Yeah, we're on the 2-mana game, but Jeff has a lot of life to work with here.
He does.
Tim able to start being a little bit more aggressive now, though, and able to start climbing back in if he draws the right cards.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen him draw a ton of land, right? I'm not sure how much is left in his deck, but
sure,
I think the percentage is pretty high that he finds gas.
In for 2 here. One more land would be amazing, right? You get to Flicker Wisp your Stoneforge, go get Batter Skull, something like that. Get some more presence on the board. Here, I'd be shocked if we don't see an activation. There we go. Activate, put Jite in. Jite can clear a lot of these things. There comes an Abrupt Decay.
All right. Yeah, Tim's taken the opportunity of
there's a plane
from Jeff stumbling so hard, but
there's
sure enough,
there's a plains. That should be pretty good here. Let's see what Jeff does with it. Looks like here comes Flicker Wisp.
Yeah,
we're gonna Flicker Wisp the Stoneforge. We're gonna get, I'd assume, Batter Skull.
I think that's the only one left in his deck.
Equipment number 3. Batter Skull's still pretty good here. Not amazing, but
if Tim,
hard to deal with, and with Tim at 4 life, it's a must block.
Yeah.
Tim forced to hold back at least 1 Baleful Strix. Yeah. So here's an interesting thing. If Tim doesn't hold back 1 Baleful Strix, then might be able to get lethal.
Whoa. Jace bouncing Stoneforge. So Tim's got to know, okay, that's more than likely that's his last equipment.
Sure.
Let's just bounce this guy back. This is going to make, Batter Skull's not going to come in for another 2 turns at this point. Or for 1 turn, sorry. At very minimum.
So here you just have to Council's Judgment the Jace, right?
I mean, who would you vote for?
I think I would vote for Jace. I don't know who Tim's going to vote for, but I think Jeff definitely voted for Jace. Looks like both players are in agreement.
Jace will be the decision. Yep, more attacks for 2.
Yep. Snapcaster doing its best Thali impersonation that Jeff has been doing.
I just attack for 2,
game.
Attack for 2.
Yeah.
You won't block it. All right.
Leovold comes down. Yeah, and at this point you see 4-color starting to really get back into this, and a lot of this has been due to Tim's ability to have his mana intact. It's quite surprising. You wouldn't believe it by looking at the board state, but we've seen 2 Wastelands already this game.
It kind of hurt Jeff, though. He didn't find, that
it
him,
really kind of did.
Him to Turok on, turn 2.
Yep.
Hit a Plains and a Caracas, and we didn't see double white till 2 turns ago.
Yeah, I think that him really did a lot of trouble. Down comes Aether Vial.
Little did Tim know, him and Turok bought him 8 turns.
Yeah. Pretty solid.
It's like a Deathrite Shaman. This is the sad, pitiful Deathrite Shaman.
Squire Shaman. Still with the conservative in for 2.
Yeah, I don't particularly like attacking with a Baleful Strix at all when the opponent, all they have to do is just swords and kill you, especially once Batter Skull's in play. but he may have been able to sneak in like 1 or 2 extra damage through all this.
Yeah. Obviously, Leovold is just kind of on defense right here.
It makes Jitte a lot worse. Or no, Jitte died, my bad.
Jitte is gone. Batterskull's the only equipment left.
Right.
But it makes, like, attacks more awkward. It makes the threat of attacking back a lot more, and it stops any, like, removal from happening without gaining some value. So, kind of makes sense to keep it around, at least at the moment. You'd prefer not to trade it for Flicker Wisp.
Alright, here's a Brainstorm, and can't quite see everything. It looks like there's at least a Baleful Strix. 2 lands and 1 other spell. He's just going to put the 2 lands on top. He's probably going to draw one of the fetches off the Baleful.
Mm-hmm.
Shuffle
now,
away that other land.
If he does go down to 3, that's kind of the sweet spot for Jeff to get 1 attack through.
Yes.
If he gets 1 good hit through, then Tim's done.
Well,
at 4, it's a little bit more.
That could happen literally right now if Tim's not careful, because Vile's at 1, Mom's been drawn.
Sure.
It's in hand, so
yeah,
isn't it? Or maybe that's the Swords to Plowshares. Maybe I saw it wrong.
If he does have Mother of Runes, then that would be.
It could be game on the spot. Depending on what Tim wants to do. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's a Swords to Plowshares. I can't tell.
Him thinking about what he wants to do here. So I think whatever you do, probably sending in the Snapcaster again. He's kind of debating whether he wants to send in a Baleful Strix or not, I think.
The Batterskull's coming into play right here. I don't think I'd attack with Snapcaster. If you're attacking with...
That's fair. That's fair.
If anything, you're attacking with one of the Baleful Strix. But it looks like you might.
So it looks like he's going to send both.
Deathrite and.
So that would be quite a bold attack. Deathrite coming in, huh? Yeah, I'm not sure I like that attack. We're going to see Batterskull, and then it has to be like an Abrupt Decay or something like that for the token, or a bounce spell. What's going on? Yeah, so Fatal Push.
Okay, so that was the other card he found. Gonna get rid of that, and then we've got
the attack make more sense.
Yeah, a lot more sense.
But still in kind of a rough spot if there is a Mother of Runes or something like that.
Even a land for Jeff is good here. So he's drawing hot at the moment.
Yep, lots of live draws.
I believe he's at 8.
Yeah, certainly not 2.
Our life total's proving to be complicated.
All right, here comes a Vile, and that is Mother of Runes. So you're correct. And Tim's still at 4 though, so a little bit of wiggle room. If he draws a land though,
not really, because Mom gets through all the flyers, the Flicker Wisp through, okay?
Yeah.
So he can't fetch.
So if he draws a land, he can just equip. Equip.
He did draw a land and
give protection.
Kill.
Yep, kill. And Jeff saying, so you dead? And he is. So Tim loses that one. And we're on to game 3.
Whoa. That was a game.
Wow. Quite back and forth.
Alright, our other match is over. I'm not sure who took that one down. yeah, we get a game 3.
Yeah.
About 15 minutes left. They've got a little bit of time. That was a that was a game where like Tim really came back. Jeff had a couple of timely draws, gets him back into that one. Without a mom, do you think he could have actually won that one?
It'd be really difficult. It'd probably involve drawing 5th land anyway.
Yes.
And doing some recurring batter skull shenanigans to eat through the board.
Mm-hmm.
But you never know.
Yeah, Tim looking at those Force of Wills, he's like, yeah, I feel like this is better.
They want time. How much time do we have left?
I don't know. You tell me. I actually went out there and checked, so our timer is like
2 minutes off.
Yeah, 3.
3.
Yeah, so let's do
Cool.
that. They got time. They've got time.
Plenty of time.
Just because the other match like gets done super fast, because we have our feature match area like off to the side, and you really can't see what else is going on, in the room and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You do kind of feel alone once the first 2 people are out there. So you're like, I don't know how much time. We have a timer back there, but usually Brian manages it, and he's not here, so.
Can certainly make you feel nervous too when you can't see anyone else playing, and you're like, oh,
yeah.
I don't know. The other match already finished. All right, so Tim starting us off with the Ponder. He's going to keep what's on top, draw one of the cards. Jeff with Plains Go.
This is like the thing that Tim wants to see the most.
Oh yeah.
Out of all the things that he could see in this match, he wants to see land go.
Yeah. Plains Go is, yeah.
No mom, no Aether Vial. It's exactly...
No Wasteland, no.
Yeah. Tim's like, yep, this is exactly what I need.
Yeah. We do see a Wasteland in hand for Jeff.
Yeah, I think his plan is just to play a turn 2 Thalia or a turn 2 Rest in Peace.
Yep. Rest in Peace did a decent amount of work last game.
Shut down a Kolgan's Command and 2 Snapcasters and a Deathrite Shaman. Yeah, 4 cards.
Yep.
So as far as we were wondering, okay, what is this card actually doing in the matchup? I'd say it was worth the card.
It definitely pulled its weight that last game for sure. Down comes Thalia.
And number 3 for Tim. Tim's in another good scenario.
Sure.
He's got all the land he needs. Jeff had a Wasteland, Rashad and Port, Thalia hand, and Tim seems to be just fine with that. Is that a Cataclysm?
It might be.
I think it's a Cataclysm.
Kind of looks like a Cataclysm.
Not every Death and Taxes deck plays it, but
it's basically 4 mana balance.
I'm gonna pull this up because I'm pretty darn sure. So this is a thing that Jeff has that may be just amazing. If Tim continues to crack his fetch lands, and then next thing you know, Cataclysm's killing 3 or 4 of them,
and
there's not going to be
Wasteland the rest.
In the Wasteland the rest. Tim's not going to have a whole lot of lands left in his deck.
Mm-hmm. Here we see 3 mana. Down comes an Abrupt Decay.
Cataclysm looking better. Man, I really want to see this happen. I don't I don't see Cataclysm a lot.
I'm not sure if we'll get to see it. We might. We'll see lots of interactive lands on Jeff's side of the board.
Yeah.
So Jeff kind of looking through what he wants to do here. Plays out Wasteland. Taps 2 mana for Rest in Peace.
Yeah, once again, Tim's going, okay, this is a little annoying because there aren't a lot of scenarios where Tim's going to want to Abrupt Decay
Rest in Peace.
a Rest in Peace.
Well, and Jeff's already seen him use 1 Abrupt Decay, so
there's probably only one more in the deck.
A little bit of an incentive to let this be your line. Get it down before Snapcaster Abrupt Decay becomes a thing.
Yeah.
And there we see Wasteland activate on the Volcanic Island.
Oops.
Baleful Strix is the play. Passes turn to Jeff.
So Wasteland happened. Tim did not have another land. So if I'm Jeff, I'm looking at this land scenario going, okay, well, now I want to be porting if I can. Or if it looks like he has another Wasteland, yeah. Now is the time. We're
gonna get down a GT.
Probably waste off the Underground. No, he's gonna take out the green source.
Interesting. Okay.
This is fine. Tim has more blue and black sources in his deck than anything else.
Yep.
And if he does find land, he's going to find those sources. Whereas green, he's just got a Bayou and a drop. Okay, taking out 1 does quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then red is kind of a similar scenario where he's got like 2 Vox and a Badlands.
Sure.
So taking him off those other colors maybe better in the long run.
So Underground Sea is the draw and the play for Tim. Off of Ponder number 3.
So it looks like Jeff has plenty more lands. Do you think you just want to port here, and just wait until he gets that 4 mana to play the Stoneforge and port? He's gonna decide not to.
Yeah, looks like he's gonna play it a little bit more aggressively here. I'd be kind of tempted to do that. The fact that Tim drew a second mana source is a little bit frustrating, I think, for Jeff.
Yeah. He would have liked at least 1 more turn before that was located.
Here comes Sword.
Not only that, but the fact that he didn't shuffle the Ponder, maybe, I don't know. Maybe you keep a Ponder with 1 land in it, and and put the other 2 on the top. Maybe
I'd almost be very tempted to, since you do have a lot of lands, just let Tim play into this Cataclysm if that is the card.
Yeah. Brainstorm. Definitely looking for more land. You do not want to get caught on 1 more turn without playing 1. Okay.
Fetch land is very good here.
Definitely.
Able to reset that top, able to keep untapped through port.
Goes and finds you the red, or goes and finds you the green.
Mm-hmm.
It can do both, I believe.
Looks like Jeff's got Recruiter of the Guard. I think we're gonna see, Sarah Avenger.
and then he's probably going to port this turn, and then hopefully this pushes Tim to play a 4th land and he can Cataclysm.
Yep. Now,
cats.
Interesting.
What cats? There's the red source. And what do you think we're going to see here? You think he has a lightning bolt? Maybe.
Might.
2 mana.
2 mana for.
This is Diabolic Edict. You wouldn't know.
Bye, Sarah Avenger.
So now if Tim goes land creature, Cataclysm's gonna look really good.
Yeah.
Yep, there's the land. And just a pass. Okay.
Land is the draw for Jeff. Yeah.
He played it. He's just playing the land.
So he does have Recruiter of the Guard. He might be thinking of going Recruiter of the Guard into Equip.
Okay.
Something like that. Or Recruiter of the Guard into whatever Recruiter gets. Something like that. Save
Yeah, Stoneforge maybe.
Yeah. So here comes that Recruiter. Searches. Finds Thalia. So the question becomes, do you equip or do you just play out Thalia? And I think I'd be very tempted to just play out Thalia here.
If you're getting a creature like this that has a static ability that's going to try to affect your opponent, I think you get it because you want to play it.
Sure.
If it was a, if it was like anything else.
I think the only reason is I'd be a little bit concerned about Toxic Deluge, which you saw before, and if you just force Tim to 1-for-1 your creatures over and over and over again, then it loses its value.
Yeah. But sure enough, like Jeff's looking at the exile pile, looking at all the lands that have hit the graveyard, and if Tim gets cataclysmed, he's not going to have a lot left.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, some of his only fetchable sources will be basics, which who knows if Tim can play out just off of the basics all that well. Whereas Jeff would still have to. Jeff doesn't have a vial. This is probably like #1 reason why Cataclysm's not looking all that great.
Yep.
Talk about a grind.
In for 1 with Strix. Even life totals at 16 seconds. Strix comes down for Tim. And here comes Thoughtseize. So, Cataclysm or Sword, which one do you want? And Tim's going to take a good look at Cataclysm and read it over.
He's probably laughing, going, "Oh man, I'm glad I at least saw this."
Jeff's like, okay.
Yeah. Takes the sword.
Leave you with that Cataclysm.
You can
friend.
have it.
Worth noting, 3 ports in play right now on Jeff's side, and they really haven't done much activating this game.
No, I feel like he could be too. Most of the plays instead of porting, he's been pretty happy to just cast whatever's in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this might be the first turn of the game where porting is something that's.
So I think Jeff's
default.
toying with Cataclysm here, but I think if you're going to do that, you do it before you played out Caracas.
I don't know why you'd play out Caracas if you have Cataclysm in your hand, period.
Yeah, it seems a little weird. I think he's trying to set up triple port activation.
Is triple port better than...
But I don't think that triple port is better.
I don't think
Cataclysm
so either.
gets you permanent triple port.
Right? Yeah, and it kills a creature.
Here we see Brainstorm. The old end of turn Brainstorm. See Basic Island.
Probably something he's okay with letting it sit on the top of your deck, knowing that it's going to come.
Sure.
Yeah, so port 3 times.
So 1, 2, 3. Leave you with Underground Sea. Him thinking if he wants to use that mana for anything. Looks like he's just gonna let it go. There's that Basic Island.
Just playing those lands into
Cataclysm. Yeah, right into it.
Just right into it. No fear. No fear.
Both players just very unconcerned about Cataclysm.
Yep. If I was Jeff, I think I would have fired it off a little while ago. Maybe that would be a little too aggressive.
I think we're at the point where it's almost lost its value, though.
I agree.
Well, maybe not now that there's a third Strix on board. But Jeff's going to need to have something. There's another land drawn by Jeff. I'd have to imagine sooner or later you just have to fire this off. Tim has 5 mana in play, which is enough to cast any spell in his deck, including Force of Will Hardcast. You've got 2 creatures that gets rid of.
Yeah, this is Cataclysm.
I think you pretty much have to here.
It'd look a lot better if he actually drew a spell, but it looks like just a land. So you Cataclysm, then you play a land.
It's unfortunate not to be able to float mana and cast something afterwards.
Yeah, so you probably just keep your planes. You play down your Rishadan Port that you just drew.
Yep.
And so I'm curious of which land Tim is going to keep.
Your other option would have been to keep Caracas.
If Tim doesn't keep his island, he might actually, yeah, he could actually just lose to a Wasteland.
Yeah, if Wasteland is the play, Port is the play.
Yeah, pass the turn, port you.
I think Recruiter should get in for 1 here. It's kind of a mistake to do the non.
That's right. Cataclysm lets him keep 2 Baleful Strix. One's your creature and one's your artifact.
Yeah. We should have gone for the untapped one. We just saved a point of damage.
Shouldn't have played the island. It's all going to come down to that.
So, Port going to town, but 2 Baleful Strixes racing 1 Recruiter. Not going to do too much. Jeff with another Plains off the top, and that's a big draw. That allows a lot of his deck to be live.
Unfortunately, they're on turn 3, and this is probably going to end in a draw.
Yeah.
But and from this position, I'm sure Tim feels like he's probably going to win this game. But man, just about anything Jeff draw, like if Jeff finds a Flicker Wisp, which it looks like he just found actually, he goes Flicker Wisp Recruiter.
Flicker Wisp for Recruiter. Yep.
I think that's enough to win this game.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I would have attacked first, but
so there's second land, but that's not gonna do.
Yeah, so they're either gonna draw.
So they're just kind of
or maybe Tim will concede to Jeff. I think Jeff was gonna win that game, but who knows?
You know, the way that these games have gone back and forth, I think it could have gone either way.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty crazy game to watch.
Yeah. Cataclysm doing its thing.
Oh, just your daily Cataclysm. Everybody expects to see those.
Oh yeah.
Well, welcome in, chat. Thanks for joining us. I think we had a pretty sweet round 1 there.
How's everyone doing in this post GP Seattle world?
In this post GP Seattle world. Yeah, I don't think, or actually I think that GP went about as like I would expect it. Tons of different decks, Delver taking it down.
You know what I love to see?
What?
The size of that GP.
He was huge.
It was huge.
Yep.
Absolutely huge.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cool to see that much support for Legacy in general. Like,
here while people are like, or sorry, while all the cards are just spiking like crazy, everybody is like, yep, I just want to play some Legacy.
Hi guys. results for what? The GP?
You can look those up. I believe in you.
There is a wonderful thing called the internet.
Yeah, let's not ban DRS. Man, people are
I'm
talking
not.
about it a lot lately. A lot.
Yeah.
We've definitely, Bryce and I have expressed our opinions. We do not think it should be banned.
Yeah.
But
I don't think that anything needs to be banned at this point. I'm quite happy with the format where it is. I know a lot of people aren't, but
yeah,
if you want to beat Deathrite Shaman, you definitely can. And I don't think that it's that oppressive.
I don't think so either.
Unban Mental Misstep. No, I don't like that idea.
Wow, that would be a world.
That would be a completely different format.
The Maverick top 8 was a pretty big surprise. I do that is surprising. I don't know if I call it a big surprise. Maverick's a good deck.
Yeah.
It has a lot of game to it. Knight of the Reliquary is an insane card, but
there's a lot of fun little tricks that you can do if you know that deck and pilot it well.
My favorite's just the one of Scrib Ranger.
Yeah, I love Scrib Ranger.
Scrib Ranger's so good. I actually haven't seen. I haven't.
You want Goblins top tier again?
I haven't seen the Maverick list. Now I'm curious. Oh, wrong one. Eighth place. It's pretty standard,
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, looks pretty stock to me.
As far as a Maverick deck goes, it's about what I would expect. It has the Gaia's Cradle, but it doesn't have the Depths combo in there.
Yep.
Which I think is fine.
Yeah. Seems alright.
You forgot Maverick existed until then?
Or Aggro Loam.
Yeah, I think a lot of Maverick players move to Aggro Loam.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sweet deck, but I don't necessarily think it's a lot better. Why is Cabal Therapy being taken out of Grixis Delver decks? I don't know the answer.
You got me.
What one of our Grixis Delver players who plays here still plays 2, so that's, I don't know. He prefers those, but even when he was playing in the Mock Sporting House event, like people commented, they're like, "Oh, I wasn't expecting to see Cabal Therapy," and he's like, "It's Grixis Delver. What do you mean?" Because less people are using Pyromancer? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that Grixis Delver is still using quite a few. What are we talking about? We're talking about Legacy. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Cabal Therapies and Ward are about where it is.
Spell Pierce is better in the mirror.
Okay,
that's the idea.
You can see that.
Yeah, that is the card that Terry was kind of toying with. It was either Spell Pierce or Cabal Therapy.
Mm-hmm.
But you really hedge towards the mirror that much? More people, yeah, more people are hopping on Delver because of how consistent it is. Yes,
Delver, yeah.
That's what makes the deck good, right? The fact that no matter what you're playing against, you will have some game against it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's some exceptions to that, but
yeah.
I feel as far as the Legacy format goes, why are we both wearing blue?
Totally coordinated.
Yeah, blue's not a common color at all. We just planned it.
Yep. We planned this out like weeks in advance.
Yeah. We don't want anybody to be confused about that.
No.
So, but no, that's like the biggest thing about Delver, you know? Like for instance, I took Junt, obviously a terrible choice. That was hurtful. But you know, a lot of decks I sit down against and there's like no way I can lose. And there's a lot of matchups that I sit down against and there's actually no way I can win. That's frustrating because that's basically where the Delver deck isn't, so they just have game against everything.
I'll take that as a compliment, Max Mitchell.
Yeah, seriously. Actually, just the same person. Just two
with
of
or
us.
Without glasses.
Yeah.
Same person.
Yep, same person.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, Nate. Definitely. All right, we should be getting pairings up here pretty soon. Since we did go right to time. Oh, we do have pairings up. Awesome.
Yeah, Max Mitchell. Matt is a really silly name.
Yeah, Matt really is a weird name. People are saying it all the time because everybody carries a Matt with them.
Yeah.
You know? But you're also Matt?
Yeah.
It's really confusing.
People think they can walk all over you. Enchantress Mirror. That would be pretty awesome.
That would be awesome. We do have one person who plays here semi-regularly who plays Enchantress, but I don't think we have two Enchantress decks in our meta. All right, so we've got Paul versus Travis, so that's going to be lands versus burn, pretty much everybody's favorite matchup.
Woohoo!
And then we've got Calvin and Theo. These guys play test a lot. I think we'll take a look at what they're doing. Calvin's usually on a Grixis Delver or a 4-color control, and then Theo's usually on a Sultai control / Sultai midrange. He kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a weird combination of the two.
Give it a look.
So let's see what they're up to.
I haven't seen anyone on Legacy Boggles.
No, that'd probably be pretty bad. Why would you try that though? I mean, I don't think that'd be very good. If you want to do a strategy like that, wouldn't you just play Infect? I don't know. Maybe those are actually quite different, but
Flying Cat.
All right. What do we got? All right, let's jump over.
All right.
These guys will get shuffled up, and we'll get started. He's the only monster I've seen playing Legacy Boggles. You get some weird auras in Legacy. That is true. You do get some really interesting ones. That's like why. Well, I guess less so auras, but that's like why the Enchantress deck is so fun. You get to play with all these like ridiculous cards. You get to main board your Rest in Pieces, and you know. Sometimes when you play a modern deck for long enough and you just like love the deck so much, eventually you just play it in Legacy. That's what I did. I played Jund in Modern forever, and then I just like took it to Legacy. And that does not mean it belongs there. It does not mean it belongs there at all.
Gen's at least playable.
It is playable. It's not good, but it's playable.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So getting underway here. Looks like we're rolling 10 to 6.
So Calvin will start us off. That's why you're playing Scape Shift and Legacy. See, exactly.
There you go.
Not the only one. Legacy has the ultimate boggle. You don't even need auras for it. Bad true name nemesis. Nate developed his hate. He already disliked it, okay, but he developed his hate for the card in Seattle. He's never going to forget that. Seattle was the place where Nate hated something for the first time. All right, basic island. I'm guessing that Calvin's going to be on 4-color. I know. Look at my detective skills just shining through.
We're even going to see a ponder. And looks like he doesn't like those cards, so he's going to shuffle them up, get a fresh one.
Not lands versus burn.
This is totally lands versus burn.
Nick Major cast Scape Shift and Legacy before they cast it in Modern. And that's a weird thing to do. I think that's a weird thing to do.
So some brainstorming going on Theo's side. Looks like Theo has at least one Force of Will in hand. And I think yep, there's a Wasteland as well. Deathright's the play. Down comes Polluted Delta. Pass turn. Calvin with the Bolt in hand. Looks like some cantrips. Possibly a counterspell. You see a Brainstorm.
And you gotta troll your locals, right? You got to. It's what I did with Nick's Fit for a little while.
Oh yeah.
I've been feeling that one coming back here pretty soon.
Troll.
Had to play some Zombardment for a little bit as well.
Alright, Tropical Islands to play, then we're gonna crack that fetch. I think he's gonna get a red source here. Probably bolt down that Deathrite.
Yeah, it sounds like something he'd want to do. He actually needs black pretty badly as well. Because the 4-color deck really is a blue-black deck with the other 2 colors splashed. So yeah, this doesn't surprise me getting both of those missing colors. Wasteland might feel pretty bad, but if he has a bolt to take care of this, or like an abrupt decay, then this could be fine. Yeah, here's lightning bolt.
Deathrite down. Theo cracks. Fetching up. Looks like a bayou.
With Blood Baron, that card's a nightmare.
Alright, Wasteland, your drop.
Your tropical? You wastelanded the tropical.
Very interesting.
I would have hit the Badlands so hard.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we'll see where this goes then.
So, edict.
Yeah, there's an edict. Main board edict. Sometimes when you're that scared of Merit Lage, you just have to have it, or like a Trinium Nemesis.
Yep. Down comes Liliana.
Yeah, we'll see if
that's
still
going to
here.
get forced. Pitching Force.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think this is a matchup where you're going to want a lot of Force of Wills. But, yeah, Force back, and Liliana's going to resolve.
All right.
Is Dragon Stompy any good? Yeah, it's fine. It's a fine deck.
Yeah, seems all right. Has good matchups, bad matchups.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just another Chalice deck. Theo's going to use his own dice. Sorry about the teeny dice.
Sorry, Lily's at 4. Calvin pondering for something. We know he's got a Snapcaster in hand still. That might be able to come down at some point, dealing with this Liliana in a way that makes sense. Here comes Thoughtseize, revealing Tarmogoyf, and can't tell.
This is a to the slaughter. He's gonna take Tarmogoyf. This probably just means that Liliana's gonna downtick and oh wow, Wasteland off the top.
Ooh.
That's brutal.
Okay, Calvin down to basic island. And here comes a downtick. Get back that Tarmogoyf, play Tarmogoyf, and another Force. So Force pitch Leovold. That'll buy Calvin a little bit of time. But this Liliana is still going to get in a decent amount of work.
Yeah, definitely. Yep, no land, just pass, and Theo's in firm control of this game.
So, uptick on Lily, past turn. There's a land for Calvin.
Oof. It's risky. I would have brought back this this Goyf by now, but
Leovold
he's got plenty.
Play. Uptick. I think Theo just kind of switched modes, which is kind of interesting. I would have kept going on that bring back Tarmogoyf line, but Theo seems pretty content here. And now that he has a Leovold, it's a little bit better to go this way, but
yeah. My thoughts were, okay, let's get a threat onto the board and actually like put like a 3 or 4 turn clock on you.
Right.
While you have no lands.
Well, if this ever ultimates, it's
also game. Yeah. So he just felt like, you know what, I can go a couple turns longer and make sure I win. Bryce wants to know if he can come and interrupt us.
Yeah. Always. In for 3 with Leo. Snapcaster coming down. Bolt targets Leo.
Hey, how's it going?
Kyer, Matt.
Hello.
You guys having fun?
Well, yeah, we're watching Legacy. Duh.
How many players do you have tonight?
Unsure.
Well, there's like 20. There's like 20 people.
Cool.
So
Right on.
yeah.
Well, just stop by.
To show people things and
Yeah.
to hang out for a little bit.
I've only been here like playing a year. And she hasn't stepped inside the door.
It happens. You want to say hi to chat real quick? Bryce can. You don't have to. Bryce should though. Well, we're watching Liliana win the game.
Yay!
Yep.
We got Nate in chat.
Oh yeah.
And Admiral Nober, did he check how long we've been up?
Yeah, he did.
Good job, good job, Ev.
Bryce the Rice.
I've never heard that one before.
No,
That's a new one.
New.
Yeah,
that's
that's new.
That's all right. Well, it looks like you guys are having fun. We'll leave you be.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks for dropping by.
Bye, chat.
See you, Bryce.
You guys have the new air thing going?
No, you want to
No.
turn it on? I think you hit the on button. I haven't messed with it a ton. Every time I've been in here, Brian's just like, "Yep, we have this going." I'm like, "Okay." Later. Claymore, we are happy to bring you some magic, some legacy action. Yeah, Theo will take this one pretty easily. It turns out when you don't have the lands to play the game, you get killed by Liliana.
Turns out Liliana is pretty good Magic card.
I actually think that this card is a card that's going to see like a stronger uptick in play. Granted, it is kind of a sideboard card in the way that there are a lot of matchups that you just don't want a 3-drop that comes down, pluses, and does nothing.
Sure.
But there are also these grindy matchups. It is an all-star. Kills Baleful Strixes.
Well, you saw how brutal it was versus Death and Taxes. I mean, that was a scoop on turn 3 or 4.
Yeah. Like everything dies by it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, unless you're willing to commit your mom, to saving your creature literally every turn from Liliana, it's just great for for the person with the Liliana. It's crazy. All right, let's while they're
the
doing
value
things.
of the grind too. It's just awesome.
All right, not really sure what game these guys are in, but if I had to guess, it is not game 1.
All right, we have
Paul.
Looks like an ensnaring bridge in play. We're going to see a Price of Progress and a burn spell. Is that
looks like a Chain Lightning on the stack, and he's got a bridge in play. Well, that's going to keep a 20/20 from attacking. You know, I've seen games where lands can just stomp on burn, but then there are other games I look at like this one, and I'm going, man, how can the burn player lose?
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, now is not the right time to buy those lilies. You're absolutely right.
Glacial Chasm is a strong one.
Yeah, sure. This is one of the cards that Burn's going to have the hardest time beating, but yeah, we'll see where it goes. Lands versus Burn is always a 50-50 match, and it terrifies you. Glacial Chasm's going to do work.
Yeah.
He's got a couple turns to demonstrate this loop, and I think it looks like from his hand he's going to be able to. Yeah, Arc Trail really is insane as well. Here's an exploration, and yeah, I think this is going to demonstrate a loop.
Should be good enough. And
then all Paul will need to do from there is find a Croson Grip for the Ensnaring Bridge, and then the game should end.
But we already see a Dark Depths in hand as well, so as soon as that happens, it'll be ready to go.
Does he have the loam though to continue bringing back the Glacial Chasm?
That is the question. He has at least a turn to find it. Down comes Goblin Guide.
Yeah, he might actually be in a lot of trouble.
Punishing Fire is another way for Paul to kind of finish out this game, sort of on the slow grind.
He'd need a lot of lands to make it happen.
Yeah,
and he would still need the loam
for sure.
So actually, where Paul doesn't have loam right now, he's actually in a lot of trouble. He's got, a couple more turns of Glacial Chasm doing its thing, and yeah, it's brutal.
Glacial Chasm, upkeep, copy, sack. And he
There's
does
the
have a
loam. Was that off the top or did he have it?
It was in the graveyard.
It was in the graveyard?
Kind of buried.
Okay. Yeah, we didn't get to see his graveyard,
Yeah.
so that was the question. Yeah, I think it looks like Paul's got what he needs to finish this game out.
Yep.
I think so.
That should be a lock right there.
Yep. Liliana the Veil will go down to 50 later. I don't see that happening, but I mean, it could. That's where it should be, honestly.
I think that'll depend a lot on whether it gets a reprint in the next
Master set.
Yeah,
I would
Modern
expect it
Masters
to.
set,
Yeah.
which I would expect it to do. Lily's had a kind of a weird price history. You know, it's
It
one
really
of the
has.
few cards that when it left standard, it didn't really drop in value.
Nope. And it just like went up
it
and
just
up and up.
like kept going up and up and up.
Man, those 2 weeks after a standard rotation.
Oh yeah.
If you know a card's gonna go up. So for instance, let's take Search for Azcanta for an example. It's gonna drop in price when it rotates. Okay,
Yeah.
it's not gonna drop a lot, but it's gonna drop in price. That is the time you pick up your Search for Azcanta.
Right. Yeah.
In those 2 weeks after the rotation, because after that those things are going up and they are not coming down for a while. And I feel like that's kind of what Lily did, except I don't really think Lily ever went down.
Yeah,
Kind
Lily,
of sad.
like, I remember specifically, I sold my lilies expecting to be able to buy them back for a little bit less money.
And they never went down.
And
So
they
you
never
never
went
bought
back down, so I never bought back.
Yeah. It's the risk you took.
I was like, oh no. Not my smartest decision.
We're going to jump out over to the other game. Sorry, we just missed some things, but...
But just barely getting underway. We had a Thoughtseize happen. Thoughtseize took him to Torak.
Yeah. I think the only cards... There was a Tarmogoyf in hand, and there was, I don't know, like one other take that I couldn't see. Oh well.
Calvin looking at a Jason hands. Couldn't really get a peek at the other cards. He's keeping them pretty packed together there.
Carpet of Flowers.
All right, Carpet of Flowers is a great one.
Yeah. I don't think Jund is just hype though. That deck's been good for a long time. Even at its worst, it was still like an okay deck.
So Carpet of Flowers really going to give Theo a lot of mana to deal with whatever and kind of gain the advantage playing that Deathrite role. Right now it's just one. Here we're going to see a Wasteland come down.
Gets the mana off the carpet and just shuts
Since
that
I don't
island
do
down.
that.
Yeah.
Plays a Baleful Strix. Passes turn.
Where did he get blue mana?
From the carpet.
Oh, the carpet gives you blue. Is it any color?
Any color.
Oh, I thought it was just green.
Any
Shows
color.
that I know. Any color. That's incredible. Carpet of Flowers, everyone.
So Calvin has the backup Underground Sea. And here comes a Liliana. We saw it, how strong that card was last game.
Yeah, for sure, Admiral. Everybody missed Bloodbraid. Myself included.
Yep.
Carpet of freaking Flowers. Yep.
The one and only.
Yeah, we don't see Carpet of Flowers a lot anymore. I mean, I don't think anybody feels like it's a bad card. It's just, we just don't see it a ton.
I've seen it kind of starting to pop up in the sideboard of things like Storm for matchups like the Delver matchup, where they're gonna kill your lands a lot, but it's definitely spicy.
Yeah, definitely. It's like better than a land because it doesn't get killed by wasteland.
Yeah.
It's like Abrupt Decay or I don't know, something else similar.
Yeah, but if you're Abrupt Decaying that, then you're not going after value.
Right.
Like,
just a good card.
drop of honey. Don't be afraid to dream, Admiral.
just be afraid when you have to wake up.
Now, Calvin doesn't seem to really have the hand for it, but 4-color is actually able to play around Carpet Flowers a decent amount. They have cards like Badlands and the like that can get through stuff. Here we're seeing a Snapcaster flashing back on that Thoughtseize, and we see a lot of lands in hand for Theo. 3 to be exact.
I think this is fine. Lily can just bring back the Tarmogoyf for, you know, you can uptick, kill the Snapcaster, and you're going to have a couple more draws, even though you are flooded a little bit.
And
okay.
Him's a good draw. Carpet Flower is doing its thing too. Just able to make all the mana things happen.
One card, kill half your hand. Seems like a good card.
Liana just upticking away. In for one with Strix. Play lands. Pass turn. Calvin draws Island, cast Jace. Jace is pretty good here.
Admiral asks, "What's the Yu-Gi-Oh card at the bottom of the screen?" That's a Thoughtseize that is exiled.
That is a Thoughtseize.
I know my Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
It's important.
Which is kind of funny because Calvin said that he un-Yu-Gi-Oh'd his deck. But
You're gonna
but
have
I guess
to
he still
scold
likes
him
the
for that,
Thoughtseize.
yeah.
Yeah, I actually really like the Invocation Thoughtseize as far as like which ones are cool and which ones aren't. I think Thoughtseize is one of the coolest.
It's a real shame. I like a lot of the arts on the invocations, and I really hate the
border.
The border.
Yeah, it's pretty awful. I think most people feel that way too. They're like, "Oh, such good art, such crappy card." Like,
yeah,
not worth it.
Here it comes, Tarmogoyf.
Tarmogoyf is a pretty good card here. So I see instant, land, sorcery, creature. So I think it's a 4/5 right now. Kind of hard to see the die that he put next to it, but
yeah, instant land, sorcery, creature for sure. I don't think
is there a Baleful Strix in the graveyard?
I don't believe so. Not yet.
There's about to be one, so
there is about to be one. That glare makes it kind of hard to see Calvin's graveyard.
Yeah, it does. I know that there's a couple lands, Flusterstorm, and a Snapcaster. That's about all I know.
So down comes Deathrite. Calvin cracks fetch and is going to play an Edict. Theo sacrifices Baleful Strix. Not the Baleful Strix that we thought was going to die, but the one that is currently dead. Yeah, Doomsday looks really good. Capsize looks pretty good too on the invocations.
Omniscience, Mind Twist, Daze.
The Daze looks really good.
Yeah. All those ones, and Thoughtseize looks good as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think outside of those mentioned ones, I don't think the rest of them looked all that great. Oh, I guess Entomb was pretty cool. Dark Ritual
It's okay.
was fun.
Yeah. Dark Ritual is kind of meh. There's better Dark Ritual art.
Claymore, it kind of it depends on what you're willing to agree on. So, for instance, I was playing against a guy who said, just to make things easier, I'm going to shuffle up my hand, and then you're going to shuffle up my hand, and we're just going to take the top 2 cards off my hand, and that's just good, right?
Yeah.
And I said,
Cool.
done.
Yeah. As long as it's agreed upon and randomized, then it's fine.
I think what rolling a die does is, well, I don't know.
It just makes it feel more random, I think. Like,
I feel like if you're not going to roll a die, then both players need to touch the cards to randomize them. I think that's like the biggest thing to mention. Rolling a die just makes it so, I don't know. You there's no funny business.
You just want to get away from like the like, oh, I'm gonna try to put the cards where they're not gonna like pick them thing.
But you know what? Like if one player just wants to shuffle up and you just point to a couple, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just make sure that they pick up their full hand.
Yeah, I agree, Admiral.
Yeah. One thing I will say about rolling a die for him though is it is obnoxious. Mm-hmm. It is annoying. It's not a big deal though.
Especially if they have like 5 cards in hand.
Yeah.
You're like,
reroll on 6. Roll 6.
On 6.
Roll 6. Roll 6. It's the only time I ever roll 6s is when that happens.
It's like Calvin's got a hymn of his own in those top 3 off of Ponder. Gonna shuffle. Him not really what you want to see when Theo has
a board state.
Yeah. Him doesn't protect Jace very well.
No. In fact, I can't think of a lot of things that Calvin has in his deck that can protect Jace very well right now. Probably the best thing that he could have is something to kill this Tarmogoyf. And even then...
Yeah, something like a Fatal Push.
Yeah, that'd be ideal.
A D100.
You know how many people agree to stuff like that, though? I mean, here's the better question. Why do we do high roll? Why does everybody do high roll? Because if you do match on numbers, then you have to roll again. If you go call it even or odd,
yeah,
you will not have to reroll, and it's still random. So I don't know. There's a lot of funny things when it comes to rolling the dice in Magic, but.
All right. It's like we're trading Jaces for another Jace. We're gonna bounce that Tarmogoyf and pass turn. Carpet, counting up the number of islands in play. There are 4 to be exact.
Oh boy.
And
to the slaughter.
Ooh.
To the slaughter says your opponent has to sacrifice a creature or planeswalker. Well, there's only a planeswalker in play, so Jace just went off to the slaughter.
You know what's better than to the slaughter?
What?
Free to the slaughter, plus cast half of my Tarmogoyf off of a Carpet of Flowers.
Yeah, it's definitely strange. The reason is because most people do high roll, and the second somebody wants to do something else, it seems fishy to them. That's why
people think they're trying to be gamed.
Like, yeah. They feel like they don't know more than their opponent, and if you do high roll, then everybody's just on the same page. That is the only reason. Even or odd makes way more sense. I don't understand. Probably before you you. Most people that I've had do it will put it in their hand and they'll shake it a little bit and they'll be like, all right, even or odd, you know.
Yeah.
And you go like odd, okay, roll. You know, it's.
I think at that point it doesn't matter if the dice are loaded; they're loaded anyway. So like.
Yeah, then how do you know even or odd?
Right.
You either 100% got it right or 100% got it wrong. It's still a 50-50. I'm down.
Yeah. Having an event with only one person taking physical action is something I personally don't care for. Interesting.
Yeah, see, like everybody has those feelings though. Like,
yeah,
okay, well, both players need to touch it, or
both people have to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's as even either way. Yeah, if you only have a d20 spin down, for sure. So if you're Calvin, what do you have to do to kind of get back in this game? You've got two creatures that are very hard to deal with on your opponent's side, especially with that Liliana. I think you'd need something like a To the Slaughter of your own, and then deal with the creatures.
Yeah, and I'm not sure he has that. I think one of his best ways would be to kill the Tarmogoyf and in the same turn play something like a Jace. But even then, Liliana just gets to bring back
like Abrupt Decay Liliana into bounce like Deluge or something. But yeah. Goyf has to be huge by now.
Yeah, this is probably one more turn and Calvin should be dead. And a Jace. Okay. Yeah, I think we're gonna see
Fate Seal. Yeah. And if that gets left on top, that's gonna be pretty rough. It goes to the bottom. We get another draw. Fetch land. We see Liliana. I don't think that's going to be nearly enough. We'll see. That gets to rebuy a Snapcaster possibly, or something. Calvin's just going to scoop it up.
He looks at his graveyard and he's like, yeah, can't win. All right, so Theo takes this one in 2. And we'll take a look at our other match, which I assume is going to be over because that's how burn works.
You mean the burn matchup was quicker than the 2 grindy, mid-rangey control deck?
I know, weird.
Yeah, matchup. Carpet of Flowers, though, what an all-star.
Yeah, it looked really good.
Looked really strong there.
I don't even necessarily think he needed it that game, but it still looked great.
Now, one reason why you don't see a lot of Carpet Flowers running around is Leovold. Carpet targets.
What?
Carpet targets players.
During your main phase, you may add up to X mana of one color to your mana pool, where X is the number of islands target opponent controls. Oh, that's funny. Nowadays, if this got printed, it'd say choose a player.
Yeah.
Choose a player.
Target opponent.
Question for all here. Oh, the rock lobster and the scissors lizard. I've definitely done that before. I've had people be like, all right, here are my unglued cards. Let's do this. And I'm like, all right, let's do it.
I'd be down.
Yep.
My favorite way to roll was those rock paper scissors dice that we used to use.
Yeah.
And those were
we have a couple in the store.
Best 2 out of 3. Like
make a little game out of it, right? Like especially if you're at like a local tournament, like
if you're at FNM, go wild.
You can have a little fun.
Yeah.
especially if you know your opponent. Whereas you go to like a bigger event and people are going to be stingy. Like they want, everybody's going to do high roll, and you know what, high roll's fine. Like
Yeah, high roll's fine.
It is fine. It's not a big deal.
Everyone agrees on it.
Yep. We're gonna roll the same number like 3 times in a row, but no biggie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like rock paper scissors is like similar, except you tie more.
Yeah.
Let's play a game. Let's play a round of tic tac toe. No, let's play best out of this many, or something ridiculous. Oh, and look. MTG bot is showing Bryce's altars. I think we ran through a lot of his altars on someday, Tuesday. So if you guys haven't checked out Bryce's recent altars, he changed up a bunch of things from or for his Grixis Delver deck, and a little for the blue-red Delver, so that he could take him to Seattle. So he did some Bedlam Revelers and some True Name Nemesis, and got some sweet Monastery Swift Spears and all sorts of cool things. So
cool stuff.
Yeah, so definitely check those out. But until then, want to run through the top 8?
Oh yeah.
You're like, yes.
Let's talk about some Seattle top 8 action.
So first place, to no surprise,
Grixis
Delver. I mean, this is...
And about as cookie cutter Delver as you can get, right? You've got the 1 of Forked Bolt, 4 Lightning Bolt, 4 Ponder, 2 Spell Pierce, 1 of Braden the board. Just kind of a nice nod. I like that.
Well, later, Admiral. Have a good night.
See ya.
No, this one has the main deck Forked Bolt. I really like that. But other than that, yes, this is stock. This is exactly what I would expect.
Oh yeah.
Therapies in the board. This is pretty normal.
Yep. Dismember is a little bit of a flex spot. Everything else pretty solid.
Liliana's not in every single one of them either. But...
Yeah, I do like seeing a single Liliana. It does really well in the grindy matchups of getting you going and keeping you going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. All right, so let's take a look at this Sleevold deck. So this is probably going to be a little similar to what we just saw Theo win with.
Mm-hmm.
Theo. Which rounds are we between? 2 and 3.
2 and 3.
So we've got about 10 more minutes until the round is over. I'll actually make sure if it. I'm keeping an eye on it to see if we start early. Good old auto pricing. Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, so we still have 2 more rounds for you guys tonight. We do 4 rounds on Tuesdays and Fridays.
Oh yeah.
So 2 rounds down, 2 to go.
So I'd say the things I like the most about this list are the sideboard. You see 1 Bitter Blossom, which is kind of awesome.
Yeah.
You've got 2 Blue Elemental Blast, which is probably a nod towards the Red Prison decks and that sort of a thing, would be my guess. Yeah. Other than that, you've got 1 of Life from the Loam, which is kind of spicy.
You'll have to come down more frequently from up north. Yeah, definitely. We do 4 rounds on Friday now. We used to not, so we've been doing that for a couple months now, and it's been great.
Definitely.
Our new prize layout really favors the 4-round dealio. So, yeah, definitely come and hang out. Yeah, so here we've got a main deck Edict.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to be more common, and because this deck doesn't have Lightning Bolt, we get the Fatal Pushes.
Yep.
Main deck Flusterstorm. This one surprises me.
Yeah, definitely. That's gotta be kind of dependent on what you're expecting to face.
I feel like Spell Pierce might be a little better main board. It's going to catch more things in a game one, but I mean, obviously it worked out for him.
Yeah. 3 wastelands.
Kind of surprising to see life from the loam.
Yeah.
When there's only 3 wastelands.
3 wasteland, life from the loam. It's kind of interesting. Not really sure what to think about that.
Yeah, so this deck is different from Theos in the way that he was running Tarmogoyf. This deck is not. True Name Nemesis might just be better though. This card's incredible. You want to interact? No.
Only to him as well.
I think that's probably pretty normal. But you know, this whole Sultai deck hasn't been everywhere lately. Take a look at Sam Black's deck. This is exactly what I would expect to see from Lance.
Yep.
Darn you ads. Go away.
Yep. Pretty normal stuff. All landsy and everything.
Yeah, I think this is all pretty normal.
Yeah,
I mean, pretty much every lands deck's gonna have their Tyler's trackers, their spheres, their vortex, their.
There's your 1 drop of honey.
Yeah, these are probably your flex spots. I mean, most are running a drop of honey if you can afford them. But even choke is like, no, this actually looks like really similar to what Paul's running.
Yep. And to be honest, it seems really solid.
It does. Yeah. Tried and true. Nothing unique. Nope, this is...
That's about where you want it on the list. It's pretty...
Nanobond keeps going down in favor. I see this card less and less. Paul says he boards it out almost every game.
I believe it.
It's like a fun game 1 card. And he's considered cutting them all. Alright, Miracles. Now Miracles we've seen a lot in this store, and I feel like where it differs the most is how the person is trying to win.
Sure.
Besides Jace, of course. So usually they want like one other.
This one you see Monastery Mentor is where they went. Back to basics main. Two back to basics. Kind of surprising to see search for Azcanta in the sideboard.
Yeah, that is kind of strange. I mean, I guess you don't want like a million of them against decks that are going to put pressure on you. But you know, like if they're trying to combo out, let's face it, your search is basically just there for a force of will. Yeah, one Council's Judgment. Only 3 Terminus, but I think that's probably fine too.
I think you want less if you're running Mentor main.
Yeah.
And I think it's fine where the meta is right now too. There's not a ton of overwhelm you with creature decks out there.
For sure. Alright, and then Noah Walker, he's always tearing up any tournament he plays in with Grixis Delver. Not surprising when everybody's bringing Grixis Delver and then you're like,
oh yeah, this is
the
my
better
jam.
Yeah, you're like this you're like the better Grixis Delver player. I don't know. This is probably why he does as well as he does.
For sure.
And once again, so here's kind of the nod towards the Spell Pierce. We still see the 1-up Fork Bolt. Now the sideboard looks a lot different than the other one that we saw, but a lot more 1-ups. But still has the Cabal Therapies and I guess Pyroblast and Red Elemental Blast.
Yeah. Kind of funny to see that split up 1 and 1, but
yeah. It is kind of strange. There was actually a moment where I want to say it was Ryan and I on Tuesday where like because of the fact that the person was playing a Red Elemental Blast instead of a Pyroblast, the opponent or he just needed like one more 1/1, and there was nothing to target, and I was like, oh man, if it was Pyroblast, you could have won right there. But that's not going to happen too often. But you know, because you are running Young Pyromancer, I feel like Pyroblast is just going to be better.
Not many people running things like Misdirection where it matters.
All right, then we've got our 4-color deck, which we also just saw. This is the greedy mana base deck of the format.
Oh yeah.
But it's all for its awful mana base. It's really consistent.
Well, I mean that's kind of a tribute to dual lands and Deathrite Shaman,
Yes.
right? That's what allows you to have such a greedy mana base and make it work. And they are even able to go as far as to play one swamp and one island, which really is a testament to how well they can operate.
Yeah.
Lots of times in other formats, you'll see decks that are being this greedy, but they can't play any basics at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I've actually seen some builds that play one swamp and 2 island, and I was like, how? what are you cutting?
What are you cutting?
Please inform me. You going up to 21 lands and cutting a spell? Okay.
And again, lots of one-of fun-ofs. You've got one Abrupt Decay, one Counterspell, one Diabolic Edict, one Hymn to Torak, one Lightning Bolt, one Thoughtseize, one Toxic Deluge.
And I think this deck is actually very similar to the one that we just barely saw Calvin play. But he had a tough time with Liliana. That's pretty easy to see that would happen. One Abrupt Decay, yeah, not going to get there. And then he also has Tarmogoyfs, which kind of a similar thing. It's like, all right, that one of Lightning Bolt, those Kulgan's commands, they're not going to get there. You got to either lose a bunch of life for a Toxic Deluge, or you need one of your 2 fatal pushes. And then hopefully Snapcaster Mage can keep them off the board.
Yep.
But yeah, this is also pretty normal. It's kind of crazy that like the only weird decks here are the Maverick deck and the Leovold deck.
Yeah.
And even this Leovold deck just feels like this 4-color control without the red cards. And there's not even a lot of red cards, right? I mean, we're talking about, I get maybe minus sideboard, but the Kulgan's commands in the Lightning Bolt. Any other red cards? I don't think so. 4 cards.
You've got Red Elemental Blast and Pyroblast out of the side. That's about it.
That's it.
And EE, but
okay. Yeah. But you don't even need EE.
Yeah.
You're not going to usually put on anything higher than 3 anyway. Yeah. And then we got another Miracles deck. So this one's playing with a Vendilion Click, and then it's playing with a Gideon. Now, I've definitely seen this deck played with Gideon before. This card is terrifying in Legacy.
Yeah.
It is scary. And then they also have, maybe the other guy did have a Supreme Verdict, but yeah, this one has an Entreat. It doesn't have any Monastery Mentors.
3 Terminus as well, but 1 Supreme Verdict main, which ups that count to 4.
Surprisingly different than the last deck that we looked at.
1 Back to Basics instead. No Monastery Mentors anywhere.
Nope.
Not in the side, not the main.
Nope. Yeah, so you still have a couple Snapcasters, but you have the one Vendilion Click, and then you have Gideon and Entreat. And those are kind of those 3 slots that take up where the Monastery Mentors were in Keaton Wood's deck.
I think the thing I do like about Miracles, and we've seen it a lot in the shop, is there are so many different ways to build the Miracles deck, where it's running off of the same shell, and what you're accomplishing is a similar goal, but how you get to that goal and how you finish off that goal is very different.
It is. Do I think Miracles is overrated now? No. I think it is one of the best decks in the format.
I could just put 2 decks into the top 8 Grand Prix Seattle.
Well, it kind of tied Grixis Delver for top 8 decks. So
I think it's quite good. I think that it's very dependent on who's playing. Like, Miracles is a deck that you have to know very well to end up in this kind of spot, right?
Yeah. All right, and then we mentioned Maverick a little before, but
yeah,
we didn't actually show the list. And from what I can tell, and from the little amount I've played of this deck, also this is all very normal.
And Gideon out of the board, which we talked about a little bit in Miracles.
Gideon's
being
insane.
Kind of good when you get it down.
Well, most decks can't beat it. that's like, no, that's what I would say is, matters when it comes to that card. Is like, all right, this card resolves. Now, how do you win now?
Oh yeah.
I feel like True Name Nemesis is probably a little similar, but this card's going to win the game much faster.
Mm-hmm.
Just make it 2/2 hit
Card
card.
a host of herons in the board.
Ew, this card's great. Card's so good. So I think we have hit time in the round. We're just waiting for that next.
Pretty close.
Yeah, I would expect round 3 to start up here momentarily. Yeah, I really love this deck. I mean,
I was kind of surprised not to see a single Storm get into top 8. Storm's one of those decks that I just always expect at least one player to spike. But
yeah, Grixis Delver interacts with Storm quite well.
It does.
Miracles, I would say, probably has a good matchup against them, especially after board.
I think Miracles, it kind of depends. The hand hate that they run can be a little bit problematic.
Okay.
If they're able to, get in with the duress and then get in with the therapy, see that the coast is clear, then they might be able to go.
Yeah.
They're not under a lot of time pressure from Miracles.
Yeah, I do think it is a little surprising, but I don't know. I mean, Maverick stole that spot, I guess.
Yeah.
But this Maverick deck, I mean, four Mother of Ruins, 4 Thalia.
Yep.
2 Stoneforge. This feels very Death and Taxes like.
Oh yeah.
And then
one of Gadaktig main.
One of.
Yeah.
This is your Green Sun Zenith toolbox.
Scavenging Ooze.
Yeah. So you have 4 Green Sun Zenith, and it can can get you your 1 Tireless Tracker, or your Scrib Ranger, or your Scavenging Ooze. This card having it main deck, oh man.
And Knights get so big so fast.
So fast. Yeah, that's crazy.
Let alone if you ever get like Excavator and get a draw engine going off of like Horizon Canopy, or get a live deck thinning going off of some fetch lands.
Yeah, and of course you have 4 wastelands.
Yeah.
So that seems solid.
Yeah.
But I mean this deck does not run Batterskull.
No.
It's not really trying to win by force unless you have a big Knight of the Reliquary.
Mm-hmm.
It's more trying to make sure that you can't do stuff like no graveyards. We have a couple of those things, and then Gadaktig's like, okay,
yep,
no Jace, no Terminus or whatever.
Thalia, pay more for your spells. Wasteland, keep you off of your mana. Mother Runes, protect my little guys when they get in there.
Something interesting about this deck list, though, there are no Leovold in it. Sure. And I've seen a lot of Maverick decks recently run like a Tropical, and they're just going to try to Green Sun out a Leovold against some of the pesky blue decks, and the other versions will have Dark Depths, like 1 Thespian Stage and 1 Dark Depths in there, and with a Scrib Ranger and a Knight of the Reliquary, you can pump that out pretty unsuspecting, very fast.
Yep.
And it can always be like one of those win cons where once your opponent has locked out everything else, Merit Lage might be an attractive way to win.
And you can protect it with Mother.
Yeah. Yeah. It's cute. just Mom and her Merit Lage.
Yep.
They grew up so fast.
Hush now, Mommy's here.
Don't cry. All right, but no, this was a good top 8, I think.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think a lot of people are complaining about Deathrite, but of the decks in this top 8, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 have Deathrite in them.
4
lists: Grixis Delver, Bug Leovold, Grixis Delver, and 4 color, right?
Yeah, 4 different kinds of decks. Yeah.
So
they were at 6 total of the decks in the top 8, though. That's a lot of copies of Deathrite Shaman in a top 8. just lands and, or sorry, 5 lands and miracles are the only decks that don't run them. 5. Sorry,
Oh,
sorry. I didn't
Five
mean to
out
say
of 8,
6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 out of 8. So
We can count.
Yeah.
Promise.
it's a good card,
Yeah, it's
but
great.
is it overwhelming? I don't know.
No, it's a 1/2. Most, you know how many cards kill 1/2s? I
Decent
don't know.
amount.
A
Decent amount.
lot.
Top 16. I don't think that they have the full top. Oh, they do. Awesome. Even better.
Lands, Grixis Delver, Infect. Matt Nash just played a Dark Depths deck. What the heck does that mean? Is that Turbo Depths?
No, this was the.
This
This was actually a really cool deck.
Reanimator Depths.
So it's Reanimator Depths using Living Wish. And the cool things that you can do with Living Wish are you can get a Lab Maniac
Okay.
and win via drawing cards off of
Gristlebrand.
Bristlebrand, which is kind of awesome.
That is kind of awesome. Yep. Agreed.
And this deck can just go off very quickly. So it's got Dark Depths kind of as like the backup plan.
This is a Shallow Grave deck? Oh, man.
Mhm.
Yeah. This is
This is basically Tin
Tin
Fins.
Fins with Dark Depths.
Yeah. Yeah, the deck was pretty sweet.
I have not seen this before. I need to give this deck a try. This is all over the place.
Yep.
Alright. Oh, look at this. Look at that.
Hey.
14th place, Alex Sittner. So he owns a local game store. Probably Paragon City's, like, I don't know. The other big store in Utah. He owns the other big store in Utah. And he's probably the best player in Utah, Alex Sittner.
I believe it.
Yep, playing some 4-color control.
Mm-hmm.
All this seems pretty normal. It's kind of crazy how a 4-color deck can look so like everybody plays it exactly the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, this person's like trimmed a Fatal Push because they wanted a second Lightning Bolt.
Yeah. One of Painful Truths on the board.
That's just awesome.
Yeah.
I am gonna check our cameras because it's just.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering about that too.
Still nothing, huh? Where's our round? Where are people? We should be getting started.
Just us now.
Yeah, that deck was all over the place.
Definitely.
This person is on Dark Depths as well.
That's the more typical Turbo Depthsy look. Nothing too crazy there.
3 Sylvan Safekeepers in the main? I don't think that's normal.
It's not far off from normal.
Is it not?
Two's
Yeah, you've been playing a decent amount of this deck, right?
Two's pretty normal. I played a little bit of it online. Kind of off it now.
Yeah.
Now I'm on Doomsday. You know, I've been thinking a lot about Turbo Depths recently, though, and is it that crazy to think about playing like Life from the Loam in the sideboard for the grindy matchups?
No.
Like, I'd never see it done, but it seems like it'd be interesting. The only thing is, like, it'd go in this slot of like the Dark Confidants, right? Something like that.
Not a lot else that you can really cut. I think it's so funny for like the longest time people have been using, you know, fetches to go get Dryad Arbor to like beat the sacrifice effects.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe people have done this in the past too, but it's not until like recently that I've noticed that everybody's using Mishra's Factory instead.
Yeah.
It's so much better.
It's a lot better.
It's so much better.
The only thing is you can't fetch it up out of fetch land, which is important sometimes.
But Dryad Arbor sucks. It's so bad. Every time you draw it, it just feels like the worst card.
I have to say, all-star for the deck, Rite of Consumption. Really, really strong. Just being able to beat out all the swords and stuff like that.
Swords, and like they'll try to like block it for a turn or two.
Right, exactly. Just be like, no, fling it at you. Yep.
Is this an instant?
No, sorcery.
Okay, so it still doesn't quite beat Caracas, but
Sacrificing is part of the cost, so.
oh, it is. Okay. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
You only get other decks. Just lots of 4-color, and then we did have an infect deck creep in.
Yeah, kind of shocking to see. Cool cards, Shaper's Sanctuary, pretty cool.
Wow, only 2 of each of these.
Yeah.
Most lists I've seen play a lot more, or they'll play like 4 Berserk. I mean, this is a 1-mana removal card. The card's insane.
Yep.
It's 1 green mana. Kill your creature.
Yeah, 1 of Mindbreak Trap.
Oh, Shaper's Sanctuary. That's new.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, everything looks pretty normal.
I actually feel like this is very different than what I've seen.
Board is kind of
Strange.
funky.
Yeah.
Stifle. A little funky.
Yeah. And who doesn't love a submerge? Let's be real. Mindbreak Trap.
I kind of like the 2 of crop rotation.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So these decks will run a couple crop rots just to go get an ink moth, and it kind of allows you to play the Bajuka Bog in the sideboard.
It gives you the 1 of Wasteland main too.
Oh, that's true.
That's kind of cool. Dryad Arbor as well.
Yeah, that can definitely matter. I just like crop rotation in general. We have so many good lands.
Oh yeah.
That exist, so.
Beta dual pricing. Yeah, probably.
Oh, I think we were looking at Alex Sinner's deck, yeah. Uses beta dual pricing. Ew. That is. Alright, guys. Nobody play 4-color. Look.
You two could have a brand new car or this deck.
or this little deck.
These 75 pieces of cardboard.
One can take you places. The other makes you feel like you've gone places. I don't know.
That can take you places.
It could. All right.
All right.
Let's see what's going on.
Hopefully we've got more Legacy coming your way.
Hopefully. You'd think our round would start by now.
Seems like it's been a while.
It does.
No, we could always
go peek and see what's going on.
Yeah. We could always art game it too.
We could always art game. We could always art game. Lol, Card Kingdom doesn't play around. No. You want a 4-color deck? It's gonna cost.
It's gonna cost. Can we see your credit score?
Just warning you, buying this is gonna put you into a new tax bracket. Careful. Yeah, I can go check out what's going on. Because it has been a minute.
All right.
You want another drink?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Get rid of our mess.
All right. Well, while we wait, let's see what we can do. Out of all the decks that you guys saw from the Grand Prix, what caught your eye? What what did you guys kind of look to and be like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool or sweet? For me, it was definitely that that Tim Finn's list that Matt Nass was on. I thought that was awesome. Any word?
You're gonna love this story.
Oh yeah.
I go out there and I'm like, so who hasn't reported? Like, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And Patrick's like, oh, these people and these people. I look out, none of them are playing. And I'm like, you want to get their records? And he's like, oh yeah, I can do that. I'm like, yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good. I think it's a good idea to report your round when you're done.
Pro tip, guys.
Please and thank you. Tim's like, oh yeah, I won. So Tim beat Terry. That's something.
Okay.
First time ever playing 4-color.
Nice.
Beaten down. and then the other person who didn't report was Paul.
Paul.
They were on camera. He was just standing there. Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right, so we have a little bit of dark depths versus dark depths in lands versus turbo depths. Now, I've heard that this is just an awful matchup for turbo depths, but maybe I'm wrong.
That's
then
not great.
We've got Theo versus. Go on. Suspense. Just tell me. Against Corey. We haven't seen Corey in a little bit.
Cool.
He's usually on 4-color as well. Man, we got a lot of 4-color in the room today.
Mm-hmm.
At least 3 players, and they're all doing great.
It's almost like it's a good deck.
Almost. Kind of looks like the Seattle top 8. Or sorry, top 16, I should say. just like a ton of 4-color decks.
Yeah.
How many were there? I'm curious.
Top
so
16 gets a lot more.
One in the top 8, and there's 3 more.
Yeah.
3 more. 4 decks.
In the top 16. Yeah.
Grixis Delver only had 3 total in the top 16.
Yeah.
It's worth mentioning.
2 lands, no miracles beyond what top 8 did.
Yeah. Another lands deck.
Mm-hmm.
Lands is the deck that preys on Grixis Delver. Probably better than most. So it's not too surprising. Alright, guys. Looks like we actually have people sitting down. Thank goodness.
Finally! Yay!
Oh my goodness, some magic.
We get to play more Magic. Well, they get to play more Magic. We get to watch them play more Magic.
Good for them. It was actually funny. So I don't know if I already mentioned this already, but Ryan, who took Bryce's spot on Tuesday, because Bryce has had some other things come up, and and he came up to me today and he goes, "Kyre, what are you playing tonight?" And I go, "You're not allowed to ask me that. You know what I'm doing. You know I'm casting."
Of course.
And he goes, "Yeah, I just wanted to mess with you." And he's like, "However, if you ever want to take a break, I'll jump in and cast in your place." And I thought about that for a minute, and I was like, that would be nice.
Playing more Legacy.
I would not mind playing 1 week.
Yeah,
that'd be fun. I think I'd enjoy that a lot. Okay, so let's jump over here. Wanna watch our Dark Depths matchup, since we haven't seen any Dark Depths and we've seen these kind of decks a lot.
Yeah, we could.
I think we should. All right, so we've got Paul, the Legend Berman, here on our right. Playing lands as per usual. And then we've got Ryan, who I just mentioned. And he's playing Turbo Depths tonight. because he doesn't like brainstorming.
Who does?
Not me. Nah, brainstorming's fine. I think I'm gonna fix their life total. Or do you want to run out there and do that real quick?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
On Paul and Ryan's?
Yep.
Pull that up onto the mat a little bit. Up onto the mat. His name is Matt. There we go. We can see him now. Not that the life totals are going to matter a ton in this matchup, but still. Good to know where we're at. Okay, so as I mentioned, I think Lands is usually pretty favored in this matchup, but that's just what I've heard. We haven't seen this matchup a lot on camera. You've played Turbo Depths. Why is it terrifying?
Wasteland and Ghost Quarter. Wasteland and Ghost Quarter are very hard for Turbo Depths to deal with without Pithing Needle or something along those lines. And the amount of ways that Lands has to get those things out at instant speed is kind of terrifying. And the ability to recur through is also kind of terrifying. They also usually have Caracas to deal with 2020. Attacking's usually your only way to get in damage. They've got plenty of ways to break that as well. You've got Maze of Ith.
You're not going to win
It's
with the
just
Hex Mage.
Really hard to get things going.
Yep, and here we see a hand. Okay, so we're going to lose the Mox Diamond, but there's a Wasteland. There's... Oh man, he's got it all. He's got the Thespian stage, he's got the Depths.
That's the other thing. Paul could easily just go ahead and stage up his opponent's Depths.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Let's just throw that into the mix.
So Ryan does have to be cautious about when he plays. Like, you pretty much shouldn't play Depths until you're ready to go for it.
And even then, you have to be sure that they can't do anything in response. If they can do it in response, then you have a 2020 facing down a 2020.
Yeah. So here's Pithing Needle, and it looks like he lets him name, and I would assume he's named Wasteland.
Yep.
That's what I would name if it resolved.
Yep.
Because Ryan doesn't play with Wastelands, I don't believe.
No. Usually it's one of Ghost Quarter.
Mm-hmm. Which he has.
Yep.
Probably just going to get sacked to the crop rotation.
So ideally what you're looking for is a Sylvan Safekeeper as well to get things locked into place. Here comes a
Sylvan
Scrying. We saw second Pithing Needle, which is actually really strong as well in Ryan's hand. So Dark Depths is going to be the get.
And okay, he's deciding no.
Stage.
This makes more sense to me.
I agree.
But let's hope that Ryan knows the interaction of Paul just being able to get a 2020 off of his opponent's Dark Depths.
Sure.
Because that could just be a free game for Paul. There's a Thespian stage and a pass. Oh, okay. I feel like the longer the game goes, the more it favors Paul.
Definitely. Although there are scenarios where Ryan can sculpt out a hand, especially now he's got access to second Pithing Needle and crop rotation. So that plus the Ghost Quarter might be enough to get through. We'll see what happens here. We're going to see Ghost Quarter coming in on Thespian stage. 2 mana cycle Thicket.
And there's a crop rotation.
And that's a pretty good draw for Paul.
Yeah. I'd say it'd be one of the best draws because now he's not.
Also going to have 2 mana to deal with things because Ghost Quarter will allow him to get a basic.
Yeah, and most lands play with one forest, right?
Mhm. Second needle comes down, and it'll be interesting to see what he names with that second needle. I think a good name would be Caracas. You're much more capable of fighting through cards like Maze of Ith.
Okay, he's named Wasteland. And Thespian Stage.
Interesting. Stage is a really weird name there.
I think what he's looking for at this point is a Hex Mage then. And that's just how he plans to win. And
Yeah.
what's kind of awkward for Paul is that crop rotting into like a Glacial Chasm would be something that he would want to do if he got hit hit once. But it's in his hand.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a little bit awkward. Fortunately for Paul, there's plenty of other cards that have interactions here, so I don't think it's going to be too big of a problem. Caracas is fine. Stage is still kind of a weird name.
You would have named Caracas?
I think I would name Caracas.
Okay.
The other option is you can name Ghost Quarter, but I'm not sure that matters at the moment.
It definitely could.
I think Ryan's hand as well is 2 crop rotations. That would make me more inclined to name cards that beat me.
So here's a Loam. This is going to get back at Thespian Stage, a Windswept Heath, and a Sheltered Thicket. There's a stage. Still no exploration. He does have a Punishing Fire in hand that could kind of slowly win the game, but
Sure.
There's no Grove either. So.
Right. End of turn crop rotation.
Interesting.
That's gonna take away the only green source on the board. Fetches up Dark Depths. Now, if that needle is on stage, he can't activate here. And
Is it on stage?
if it's not on stage, then
Should I go check?
yeah. Unless, I don't know.
So earlier he copied with Thespian Stage.
That
before
makes
he named
sense. Yeah.
to copy Bayou.
That's what I was going to say, is that if he did that, then it would be fine. And that makes a bit more sense. But Paul able to crop rotate back, get a Caracas, and get rid of the token anyway. So
Darkfire, yeah, this is Ryan Ephasian. Or however you say his last name. People say his last name like everybody has their own way of saying his name here. It's pretty funny.
Ryan A.
Ryan A.
Ryan A. And again, this is just kind of how miserable this matchup can be for Turbo Depths. You know, you see everything. He's able to fight through 2 different types of hate and still get his 2020 dealt with immediately.
mean, it wasn't a bad line that Ryan took. It just, you know,
Yep.
a crop rotation, we're done. You know?
Oh yeah.
And now I'd say from this point, can Ryan come back?
It's very hard to come back from.
I'd say no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd say we're pretty close to done here. All of Ryan's own stages are turned off by the pithing needle.
Yeah.
And he is unable to copy a Caracas or anything like that. He would have to pretty much hope that Paul played out a Ghost Quarter, and I don't even know. You can't even copy it with stage, so
yep.
I think this game's pretty much over.
For
2.
Yeah, he's gonna attack. He's gonna attack with Mishra's Factory and punishing fire Ryan to death.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot he can do about it.
Yeah. Yeah, and again on Ryan's side, like it's a horrible position to be in, but you definitely just have to say, well, if you got it, you got it, and hope that they don't. It's not going to get much better than 2 Pithing Needle and whatever. I mean, you could hope for a Sylvan Safekeeper and kind of play it a little bit safer that way, but even that, it's only a matter of time. Now, post-board, things get a little bit better. You have access to a lot of surgical extractions, and you're able to kind of pick your spot a little bit better. You also have right of consumption in order to beat out cards like Caracas and Mace of Ith, stuff like that gets in your way. Also, it makes it a lot less necessary to fight through Thespian stages on the other side, copying your token.
Right.
So you just go fling you for 20.
Done.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I gained 20.
Yeah.
Thought I should throw it out there. I remember when Rite of Consumption was the card with Quill Spike that you use with Quill Spike combo.
Mm-hmm.
That was silly. Make my guy infinitely large, throw it at you. And you can do something like that in a standard format. That's just magic right there.
It's just good, clean living. Looks like Bajuka Bog was able to deal with that graveyard a little bit, so that's a positive.
Yeah, he still has to face down 2 Punishing Fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this game is still very much over.
Okay, so let's give this one to Paul, and we'll check up on what Theo and Corey are up to.
All right, looks like there's a true name in play.
Sorry.
And 3 lands versus a Baleful Strix and 5 lands. Looks like there's 1 card in hand for Theo. And Corey is pondering. Looks like he found a Jace. Is that Jace Leovold Force?
That's what it looks like.
Bless you. Yeah, Jace Leovold Force, I think.
Those are a powerful 3.
Pretty good finds off of a ponder.
I think so, but he still has to somehow like outpace this true name.
Yeah.
Leovold would be a good start.
Fortunately, it looks like GTA's been dealt with, and that's pretty big.
Yeah.
Also looks like a Jace was dealt with already.
Yeah, I think he wants to get this Jace on board as soon as possible. There's a good chance that Corey has a main deck edict, or you know something that can deal with.
It's like he chose
Leovold. Or yeah, looks like he's just gonna cast the. Nope.
Nope.
Just kidding. Discard your only card. Return something. Here's to the slaughter in response.
Okay.
He's gonna get rid of a Baleful Strix. This is probably a fine trade for in Corey's eyes, but he still has to somehow, outpace this. I think Deathrite Shaman's a good way to though.
Yeah.
I gain 2, you deal me 3.
Fine. Yeah.
1 damage a turn. That's fine. Especially with Leo coming down here in a moment. Whoa.
Oh wow.
I think that was a good draw.
Pretty good.
Theo and his Lilianas today.
Liliana
They've
has
been on spot.
an all-star.
the whole tournament really.
Every match so far.
Yeah, each time this has come down, we're like, oh, that's good.
Yep.
I mean,
now
it's not going to do a ton with Leo in hand,
yeah.
but
Leo will be good to fight through that. But so do you Leo or Jace here?
thank you, Leo. Because what is...
If you Leo, you can start to race, right?
Yeah, that's why you Leo.
Looks like he's gonna Jace.
He just wants to see more things. If he can find an answer...
Actually, really surprised by this. I was expecting him to Fate Seal. Let the Jace take a hit for 3, and then Brainstorm next turn.
Yeah, this is a very surprising line. I think I would have liked playing Leo a little more. My reasoning is Liliana's not doing as much. Now
there is a second Jace in the Brainstorm.
Better
you
see
missed
some D&T.
D&T was first round.
Round 1, Ginger Chief. Round 1. It lost to 4-color in some really, really good games. Yeah. I strongly recommend going back on our VOD and watching it.
Very cool match.
Yeah.
Edict. An Edict in hand.
He did, or Theo found one, or?
That's what it looked like. Although I would have expected an activation.
Yeah, I think this is gonna get a Leovold of his own. Or yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, what my realization? So I want to say I was playing and I had like a Deathrite Shaman and my opponent was like minus on Lily and I was like, okay, like what are you targeting? Because I wanted to Deathrite and he goes, it doesn't target. I like had to pick up Liliana and was like, oh, this is bad. This is bad for me.
Why didn't the Deathrite just eat the Leo from the graveyard when he went to activate?
Well, yeah, I don't know. Did he have the Bayou open?
Yeah, he used it to Edict. He also didn't save his Jace.
Well, he would have.
That makes sense because he's got another Jace, but like.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know why you don't just like eat it, and then Edict next turn and hold up Deathrite.
He definitely needs to eat the turn in. He can beat the Leo. You can't beat the turn in.
Yeah, Leo's fine. Leo holds off.
Yeah, so he's gonna let this go.
He's got to eat here. Maybe. What? He's got to. No activation. Huh. Maybe he doesn't realize that it interacts that way. Trade Leos.
I don't think he can
Bring
counter
him down. He's got force in hand, but that's it.
Are we missing something?
No, he just ate Leo now, so he knows he can eat creatures. Maybe I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that is really strange.
It's kind of a weird line. There might be something I'm missing, but
all right, our other match is starting up, so let's go and check in with them because I think it's gonna last a little longer.
Ryan looking at a Caracas crop rotation. Looks like a Ghost Quarter. Hard to see. Forest, Lotus Petal, go. Alright, Wasteland, go. So there's one piece that Ryan has to get through.
Yeah, no Pithing Needle in sight either.
So Caracas comes down. Another way you can beat through Wastelands is by turning your stage into a Wasteland, and then Wastelanding the Wasteland to get it to go, and then doing some shenanigans with crop rotation, like,
Yeah.
or just having two ways to activate Thespian Stage and Hex Mage, or if you have enough mana, double stage.
Right. It does look like Ryan's hand is full of mana. I think there are 2 Elder Spirit Guides in it, and a crop rotation. I can kind of hear him outside, and he's going, "This is really, really difficult." Sorry to take a minute. Yeah, so he's gonna let this Caracas go. I think this is wise. You know, once Paul's made it 2020, answering it's not the way you're going to win the game. You're gonna win the game by killing them.
Sure. And again, this is the kind of matchup where I would expect a card like Life from the Loam would be very good to have in the board for the Turbo Depths deck.
Yeah.
But I'm just kind of surprised that you don't see it. It might just not be fast enough or consistent enough. Lands might not be a big enough part of the metagame. Alright, Depths is in play. Seems like Ryan's trying to dare Paul to go for something here.
I think so. This in the face of Wasteland does seem very strange.
Do you have a third crop rotation?
No, I think the goal. This seems weird.
He's just trying to get him to activate, and then
make
it 2020 in response, like playing like he doesn't have the mana. There's one. Activate.
He's gonna Wasteland, and then I want to say he's just gonna Simian Spirit, or not
makes a copy.
I don't know if he's thought this through all the way.
Yeah,
he's gonna get Wastelanded.
You got a Wasteland here, and I mean Paul's got to gamble next turn, so he can.
The thing is, though, is he doesn't have to Wasteland until after the legendary trigger goes.
Target, yeah. So no lands left. That is a third crop rotation hand, isn't it?
It's a crop rotation in Elder Spirit Guide.
Yeah.
So he's going to use this to go get like a new Thespian stage, and then he's just empty-handed.
Yeah, I have the stage. Yep.
I think he may have just thrown this game away.
Yeah. That seemed really aggressive in the face of Wasteland on board, and it might have been that he just miscounted on the mana that he had available. Go get Spider. Yeah.
Paul's used no resources. You know, like...
Yep, he used one land, and...
Ryan used this whole hand, and...
Well, and now we know Paul has Gamble, in his hand, so he's going to be able to gamble for something here and likely get something good.
That was really horrible to watch, so it probably feels bad. That was a confusing sentence. I'm not sure exactly what sentence you were referring to. Well, he's got a couple lands back. That's good, I guess. So if Paul has Loam, then I kind of figure he would, just loan back the Wasteland.
I think
Just keep
Paul
going.
has his own combo. I think he drew Dark Depths.
You think he's just gonna crop right here and win, or next turn or whatever? Well, Thespian Stage makes it a little more weird. Yeah.
Crop Rot resolves. Ryan's like, yeah, I've got no hand, man.
Do your worst.
Need a Ghost Quarter. Ghost Quarter your stage.
That should work. Go get a snow-covered forest. Paul probably didn't want to have to kill that. Like, I think he just wanted to win there, but I don't think it's going to be too big of a deal. This should be his game.
Yep, it should be pretty easy. Ryan would have to draw very well to get out of this. Yep.
Loam, return all 3 lands. Let's play a Wasteland. Did he forget to draw?
I think so.
Oh, that's funny. He's like, it doesn't matter. Yeah, Paul's hand's just stacked.
Yeah.
I think Paul could probably be a lot more aggressive, but
yeah, masterpieces and like expeditions and stuff like that have been going up a lot.
Kerpemis, it doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, that's one of the reasons like I picked them up when they came out.
Yeah.
You see cards like this that have this limited print run of it's super, super rare in one set.
Mm-hmm.
Once that set goes out of print, yeah, it's going to take a couple years, but once they're gone, they're gone. When are you reprinting expeditions again?
Yeah.
In
in the near future, that's for sure.
Right. Do you really think that a block is going to come around and be like, hey, remember those Battle for Zendikar expeditions? Yeah, we're printing the exact same ones in the exact same way again.
Yeah.
Like it's just not something I would expect to happen. So seeing the price go up isn't surprising. Now, seeing the price go up this early, that's a little surprising.
Mm-hmm.
It's still in standard. Battle for Zendikar is. So that's. I think that's I think it's surprising.
What happens, but yeah. And as to be expected, Paul takes that game.
Definitely. So I think Leo's up a game. I'm not Theo. Man, that's gonna kill me. Yeah, I think Theo's up a game. I'm not doing this on purpose.
Speaking of Leo, there's Leo in hand for Corey, but no land, so he's gonna mold.
Yeah. I mean, the same thing, Kerpemis, is like look at all the legacy cards like on the reserve list that are going up right now, and they're going up like crazy. They spiked a couple months ago, and they're already spiking again.
Mm-hmm.
This is the second spike is because of the reaction to the first one. That is why everything's going up like this. You get all these limited cards, and it's like, okay,
Fear of missing out.
Fear of missing out. Yep. They see they see the prices spike, and next thing you know, people are like, if I don't get them now, I will lose them if they spike again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I might not ever be in a financial position where they are affordable. It's possible. It's possible. So we kind of get to see that fear.
Deathrite mirror match going on. Theo's Deathrite doing a bit more work at the moment as he's able to land it first. Wasteland takes care of that underground seed that Corey played.
Would you still buy in now into Legacy? Yeah, I probably would.
Yep,
I love Legacy, so I probably would. But like one or two more spikes.
The biggest problem is
I probably wouldn't.
These cards have a very limited amount. Like, you know, they're not gonna make more duels. They're not gonna make more Lion's Eye Diamonds. They're not gonna make more of these cards that you need in order to play the format. So there comes a point where Legacy will probably become like Vintage.
Yep.
Like,
yeah, as long I would expect them to make something new at some point.
Caesar in the 400 range.
400. I can look them up right now.
Yeah,
if you want me to. Because who needs commentary,
right? I think they're in the 400 range.
Yeah.
3 to 4.
Yeah, if you want like a near mint one, you might even pay 500.
Yeah.
But anything lower, like there's a moderately played one on TCG for, 415.
Yeah.
And you can find heavily played ones for under 400, but yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a lot of money.
It is. Here you are going, I want to buy Doomsday. People like want Gitaxium Probe's head. And you're like, I might wait just a second.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be too worried about it.
No, I'm not. So
right.
Some Deathrite activation to him coming in.
We'll go back to our roll dice technique. Yep, and of course we roll a 6. Oh, and we roll a 6 again.
Yep.
I want to say I mentioned something about
off
this.
The table
and a 6. Yep. Okay.
Keep it going. And okay, we got the first card. Okay.
All right, now 5 and 6 is a reroll. Oh, there's 5. Okay.
4. Got it.
But no, don't just reach across and pick them. That would be awful. I love how we just barely talked about that, and I was like, the only time I roll 6s is when 6 is a reroll.
Yeah, I agree. It's really restrictive. Like, it's a big problem.
It is.
And it's sad to see a format that's so cool and so much fun and so wide open, like, just kind of
losing to itself.
Die. Or, like, keep people out who could possibly have innovative things to add to the format. Right.
I have talked to a lot of people, and especially in this store where we have a huge modern turnout, and our Legacy turnout is kind of incredible considering there was no Legacy scene before 1 year ago.
Yeah.
And all these modern players have told me, like, it's too expensive to get into Legacy. And I think it's like the funniest thing to hear, because here they are with like $3,000 modern decks. And they're like, yeah, too expensive to get into Legacy. And I'm going, what? No, it's not. I got into Legacy from selling stuff. You can too. It's not that hard. You don't even need to take cash out of your pocket. Your collection's liquid. You can move it whenever you want. We can all get into Legacy. It's great.
Or at least some of us can.
You're surprised that unlimited duels haven't been bought out yet. Oh, I agree. There's probably just not a lot of people with the funds to do it, and that are willing to do it.
Yeah, it is a lot harder to change decks constantly.
Mhm.
But not if you have the staples, to be honest. Like, if you have the staples for, say, 4-color, you can build Grixis. You can build...
You can build just about anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can build just about anything that you want in the blue deck range, right?
It's actually where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
I have 2 Volks and 2 Underground.
Mm-hmm.
If I pick up like an Underground Sea, one of them,
Yeah.
I could just about build anything. And I have one of each of all the other duels.
Yeah.
So
If you have the cards for Storm, it's not that hard to go into Dredge or go into other things like that. You can play any variant of Storm that you want. If you have like the mana base for Death and Taxes, it's not as difficult to get into lands except for cards like Tabernacle, which is through the roof. But
yeah, it spiked again. It's like over
Yeah.
$2,000.
mm-hmm. But again, like Tabernacle, while it's a really good card, is replaceable. Like you can find alternatives.
Most games that I watch lands win, they do not win with the Tabernacle on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Most. So it's not like 100% necessary, but man, the times that Tabernacle is good,
When it's good, it's great.
it is insane. So once again, Theo's just winning with this Liliana. It's kind of been the card of his tournament so far.
Card's sweet.
It really is.
So much incremental value.
You play a Baleful Strix. See, most times a person plays a Baleful Strix, and you're like, "Am I gonna have to kill that?" And they got a card out of it.
Yeah.
Am I going to have to? And Liliana's like, I was ticking up anyway. No worries.
Yeah, 2 mana draw a card seems a lot less valuable.
Mm. Well, number 4 looks like let's see a lightning bolt right now. That'd be strange.
That's a trop. Could be a death right.
I didn't
Could
see a
be a
death right in his
cantrip.
hand, but maybe I just missed it.
Could be a cantrip.
Yeah, it could be. That death right. Okay.
I think I saw a ponder in his hand too.
Alright, Theo's gonna fetch at the end of turn. Get another Underground Sea. Maybe he's thinking Fatal Push. Can't think of a lot of other reasons why you'd want to fetch now. Okay. Or he just wants to brainstorm, scope it out before his next turn. He did see a Fatal Push at the top there, so Fatal Push, Force of Will, and Tarmogoyf for the draws.
Mm-hmm. Kind of a cute interaction with this Liliana too is you can use it to reset your brainstorm. So put 2 cards back that you don't like and then mill them off of the Liliana.
Yeah. Yeah, that is really cool. Well, at this point, it looks like you're just Jace bouncing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Force of Will.
Yeah.
Wow. He's like, I don't care about my Jace. See these 2 permanents? They're all I need. I'll keep the lands too. I'll keep the lands. Why not?
This Liliana is just going to town. And Tarmogoyf, let's see. Artifact creature, instant sorcery land,
Planeswalker.
Planeswalker.
And off the top, here comes True Name Nemesis. All right,
Just what
Corey.
Theo needed.
Corey, what you got? Like, even if he had Toxic Deluge right now,
It'd be a lot.
Liliana's just like, all right, I'll just pick my Tarmogoyf up again.
Yeah, again, we're in this position where you need to deal with that Liliana, and not enough permanent hate at Corey's disposal. We
Big
see an
swing.
Edict and a Bolt. Here comes Edict. Now, Deathrite could do some activations, but we saw that Corey was hesitant to do so last game.
Yeah, I wonder why. Yeah, he'll just block. So Lightning Bolt can keep Liliana from going all kinds of crazy, but it looks like we're just gonna see a minus. I like this a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, just get another true name. We'll play it.
Lily's already going crazy.
Yeah. What hasn't it done this game? What can't it do from this point forward?
Well, if he down ticks it again, Corey can get rid of it with that lightning bolt. He's just going to bolt now.
Yeah, he feels like, all right, let's use my mana efficiently.
If he draws like a Colgan's command or something.
Okay.
All right, Jace.
Jace is a good card. He probably needs to brainstorm.
Yeah, you're just going to use it to brainstorm, gain some life, or
Nope.
bounce and fog for a turn.
That
Seems
doesn't
weird
seem
to
that
me.
doesn't seem like a winning line.
Yeah.
But at the same time, getting one card off of brainstorm, I'm not sure if that was exactly a winning line either.
I mean, it's just very hard to deal with the board right now, as is.
Yeah.
Got to find something.
It'll push Tarmogoyf. All right.
All right. Resolves.
He's like, that's annoying. Go on.
Wasteland.
So here's Corey's out to victory. Okay.
Okay.
If he takes this 3.
Yep.
He goes to 8.
Yep.
And if Theo minused to get like Tarmogoyf or something back,
Okay.
then maybe Toxic Deluge could have done it. But
To the slaughter mixed with something else.
yeah, that would be pretty good.
To the slaughter and like a.
I'm not sure if Corey has any to the slaughters, but if I'm Theo, I don't even know if I'd play this. I'd be like, I have enough.
Yeah.
Deluge. Nope. It's a Pyroblast, and that'll do it.
That'll
So,
do.
Theo takes this round, and he'll be one of our undefeateds in round 4.
All right.
Probably playing against Paul on lands.
Yeah.
Paul the Legend Berman doing what legends do. I think
Is that what Legends do?
Legends wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what I heard.
Oh.
I don't know.
I'm not a doctor.
No.
Don't trust me to know about these things. Now, hopefully, people report.
Yeah, right. They're still shuffling.
Is it possible that
That Corey actually brought that
Corey
other
won that other
game back?
game?
Actually, it
That'd
looks
be
like we
pretty
have.
surprising to me.
Looks like
but
we have some more to do
might
because
be one more game.
these are face down sideboard cards.
Yeah,
Huh.
we'll see.
I mean, I hope there's another game. There's only 2 minutes left, so that'd be kind of weird. Not a lot of time to play.
Well, it looks like we're in the hurry up mode. Okay. Reset and go.
Look at that.
Huh.
Well, I take back everything I said. Corey was able to clean up game 1. It didn't look like he was going to after watching.
Very hard to get back from. I wonder how he did it.
Dang, we should have stayed there. Look what we did.
Womp womp.
Alright, so our time isn't exactly what theirs is. It's kind of an estimate. So they might have a little longer than a minute and a half.
Still gonna be pretty close though.
Yeah,
I'd be shocked if they have more than 3 minutes.
I would be as well. I feel like I would have stopped shuffling by now. Or maybe they're just playing for fun. I don't know.
Don't know. Either way, more Legacy on camera. I'm down.
For 1 more minute? That's all I ever wanted.
I'll take every minute I can get. Lands and spells for Corey. We see a Ponder off of an Underground Sea.
Sees a Flusterstorm, a Diabolic Edict, and I think a land. I think most of these cards are cards he's pretty happy having.
Yep.
So he's just going to take the land from the top, make sure the other two are in the right order.
It's like a delta.
Carpet! Carpet's back!
Carpet down. Now, Carpet could get him into trouble if there's a Leovold on the board.
It's not a May, huh?
It's not a May.
You have to.
Target
That's
opponent.
So funny.
Target opponent.
Guys, it's totally normal. It's totally normal that cards that add mana to your mana pool target players. That's just a normal thing. Don't worry about it.
Ponder. It's shuffled. Here comes the draw. And Corey gonna land a Kimdator. That's gonna get forced. Corey with Badlands, he's only going to be giving 1 mana to Theo off of this Carpet.
I think the next land he goes for will actually be the Bayou as well.
It definitely could be.
Yeah.
And that's one place where 4-color can kind of get by. They can fetch out lands that give a lot less mana.
Oh, Leovold in. Okay. Yeah, this is... Wow, this hurts Corey a lot. We see hand of Brainstorm, Jace, Baleful Strix. Oh, he drew an Edict.
Yep, there is an Edict.
Okay. Or did he already have it?
I think he had it, but it's still slightly problematic. You gotta feel pretty good here knowing that 1 force is gone.
Yeah. Yep, trigger Leovold. That finds a Jace. That resolves. Wow, okay. I think Corey kind of got away with one there.
For sure. Here comes Jace. Corey looking at Flusterstorm in hand, kind of wondering if that should be a Spell Pierce.
Looks like most of Corey's forces were boarded out as well.
We're gonna Fate Seal Corey. Be kind of tempted to leave it on top regardless of what it is and force Corey to fetch if he wants.
He probably would.
Yeah.
puts it on bottom. Didn't want to take the risk. Boo.
I mean, you're probably still incentivized to crack, because if it's something good, you want it back through.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
Alright, feeding the carpet.
Chat, what do you think the correct mind game is for Jace there? How do you prioritize the fetch? Like, if it's something good, do you leave it on top and, like, make them crack?
Or do you just not plus?
Or do you just, yeah, not
Were you supposed to brainstorm there? I think most people would have.
I think brainstorm there is perfectly fine. I'm not sure what you're worried about. Maybe
Lightning
bolt.
bolt. That's the only thing I can think of.
Pyroblast is going to get you anyway. You might as well get your cards.
Well, it looks like you found a pyroblast. So.
Yeah.
And that pyroblast is definitely going to resolve too, especially considering the Flusterstorm in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let's pyroblast Jace. That's a dead Jace. I think we're going to be... Okay, Death Ray Shaman. And he's going to hold up that Flusterstorm rather than playing the Strix's turn.
Not a bad spot to be. Carpet Flowers does play around Flusterstorm very well.
That's true. Okay. We've got a Wasteland to start things off. So he's got to decide, am I brainstorming now, or... Yeah, so add wood.
Save. End my phase. We're going to see Brainstorm get met by a Flusterstorm. And while we're at it, let's get rid of that Death Ray.
I think Corey's still okay.
Yeah, slightly. I'd say slightly ahead. Like very, very slightly.
If I was Theo, I probably would have saved that Flusterstorm for something like a K command or something like a little more important. But
I think Brainstorm's pretty close.
What? Chill? That's a chill.
That looks like a chill.
So we discussed this earlier when we were looking through 4-colored builds.
Yeah.
4-color plays with 4 to 5 main deck red cards.
Yeah.
And their entire deck.
Mm-hmm.
Theo boarded in chill. And granted, Pyroblast came in. We know that Pyroblast came in. So we're talking less than like 1/6 of his deck, right?
Yeah.
Is going to be affected by chill.
Yeah. Kind of a weird thing.
That is very strange.
I'm still waiting to see a Leovold. I just want to see Corey slam a Leo.
Just get all the value off a carpet.
Yeah.
Oh, that is not the land you get to cast Leovold.
Very true. Snapcaster.
Can't believe they're not in turns yet.
Target Brainstorm. There's a Leo, but no lands to cast it. That might be time.
Yeah, so I just heard them call time. Yeah, this is looking like a draw from this standpoint.
Mm-hmm. So right now I'd be saying that Theo is pretty firmly on the back foot. 1 card in hand, facing down a board of Snapcaster, Strix, and a Leo, potentially. Assuming he has the land to fetch for it. Doesn't look like he does.
He should have a Bayou. We know the Trop's gone. but he should have a Bayou in his deck.
Huh.
Yeah, that's strange. You said you saw Leo in his hand?
Yeah. There's a Leo in his hand. He did not fetch green.
Oh, it was a Scalding Tarn. It was a Scalding Tarn.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes more sense.
That's awkward. I want to play Leovold. My fetch is the wrong one. The only fetch in my deck that can't get a Bayou. Oh, that's terrible. Yep, Brainstorm. Man, you wonder what would have been good last turn?
A Leovold.
A Leovold. Brainstorm's. This is a timely moment for Brainstorm. All right, looks like we got a die out there, so this is going to be turn 1 or turn 0, whatever is going on. Whatever's happening, I don't know.
Thing stuff.
Getting 3 mana off of carpet. That is insane.
That's a Maelstrom Pulse.
Yeah, that's going to kill 2 Baleful Strix. And it looks like he has plenty of mana to pay for this Fluster. I wonder if even holding on to this Fluster is worth it. The highest value you're going to get out of it is like shuffling it away for Brainstorm.
Yeah.
And look, guess who's back?
Back again.
So this is going to take care of the only creature left on the board.
And just like that, Corey's inability to get his second green source in his deck really coming back to bite him.
Yeah, this would have been a crucial turn. He would have stopped a Brainstorm from happening, and even if Liliana was able to get cast without the Brainstorm, he would have drawn a card off the Liliana killing the Snapcaster.
Yep.
Leovold would have been
an all-star.
Would have been real good. Yeah. All right, we're gonna draw a card, even though this is just gonna die. And there's a Leovold in the graveyard on Theo's side. If I'm Theo, I'm down ticking.
Looks like he's content to get rid of that Strix.
He's just shooting for the draw, huh? You know, maybe
17 life. I think it's very hard to
Leovold
get him
probably
down.
wouldn't do it anyway.
Like Leovold's not gonna get there, especially when you're on turn 3.
Yeah, that's true. For a moment, I spaced. They were on turns. It'll push on Deathrite.
Yeah, I don't see either player really closing this out in time.
The Sultai deck doesn't have Food Chain combo in it.
Aw.
So lame. And Brian, we're gonna have a bit of a drought on Food Chain because
I think Brian would say that that's inferior Sultai deck.
it is.
Yeah.
They can't oops the game.
Yeah.
No, Brian's headed into surgery here pretty soon, so we won't be seeing him for a couple weeks.
Wish him a speedy recovery.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll play a Liliana of my own.
Make you discard a card.
Beat that.
Yeah, last turn, so in for one with the bird.
I think what Theo's trying... Yeah, why the chill?
We don't know.
Darkfire, I have no idea. When we saw it, we were very confused as well.
Push my bird.
It looks like that's going to be a draw. I don't think that there was a concession there.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to the booth for a moment.
Well, that was interesting.
I feel like Chills versus Burn. I could see Chill coming in versus like the blue-red Delver deck,
Yeah,
but where else?
Chill seems really weird. Like,
Yeah, that was just really odd to me. I mean, what other decks could that even really come in against? I feel like you only have that because of Burn's existence, right? Like,
yeah,
I mean, we have
Delver,
Burn
Burn.
players in the store, so of course, you know.
Yeah,
Yes, Jebediah, Burn. That's
Burn.
exactly, that's the reason.
Burn. Moon Stompy, yeah, sure.
it's
but
okay- it's
even Moon Stompy, like, they're gonna play their stuff out early, and they have.
Yeah. Moonstompy can actually like play their stuff through a Chill.
Yeah.
But yes, you still board and Chill against that deck.
Yeah, it's just not as effective. Like,
I could see it being.
because of you. Ay, ay, ay.
No, I don't. You want to? Here, I'll come out for a moment.
Well, crazy stuff. Hopefully next round will be starting pretty soon. We'll get one more round of legacy action coming your way. Yeah, I can't think of any other decks beyond the decks that we named where Chill would be a pretty strong card to bring in. Maybe mono red like Ruby Storm or something like that, but I don't know. Something like that. Mono red Painter? Yeah, maybe. Might chill out of mono red Painter.
Mono Red Painter? They don't have a ton that it hits, right? They have a couple things.
Couple things. It's not gonna stop things until they get down like.
Even that's a
Painter
soul land deck,
and, like,
right?
Yeah. All hate for Burn. Yeah.
Yeah, Chill's just the Burn hate card. Yeah. I even had a moment where I was talking to Brian about his Sultai deck, and he's like, Kyra, what should I change in this deck for a GP? And I go, you need to get past your first couple rounds, make sure you have the Chill in there.
Yeah.
And he goes, good point, put the Chill in there. I want to say he actually used it and it was worth putting in.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, with all the 4-color that's running around right now, Price of Progress is insane. And so having a little bit of hate against Burn makes sense.
Yep.
It does. We weren't saying Chill was a bad card, it just didn't make sense.
Well, it's just not the right place to use it.
Yeah.
Is it possible that he had so many cards to side out that don't have an effect that Chill's slightly better? I don't know.
In a 4-color matchup?
I
No
can't
way.
imagine.
All of your removals live.
Like, yeah.
All of the value cards you normally run are live. All your creatures are live.
Yeah. I just
All your
don't see
discard.
what you would even take out for it. Like,
Me neither. I can't even think of what card would come out. Even sacrifice effects, I would say, are live.
Yep.
What could possibly be in the
play
main
creatures.
deck of a Sultai deck that would make you bring in Chill? I mean, it didn't matter. In the long run, I don't think it really
Basic
mattered.
Swamp? I think I'd rather have Basic Swamp than Chill.
Same. You have to be terrified of Kolaghan's Command, right?
Maybe.
You'd have. That's probably what it is. It's like
Probably the only thing, but like Kolaghan's Commands, if it's a 2-for-1, yeah, sure, whatever, but most of the time it's not even that bad. Alright, so we're getting our pairings up for the next round.
So this is pretty much the exact same round that we just saw, except for we're switching off opponents.
Yeah.
So Paul's going to play against Theo. So this is Sultai Control versus Lands. Much more interesting matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've also got Corey on 4-color versus Turbo Depths. I think that's going to be the matchup we wanna watch.
Yeah.
That seems like a really interesting match. And we watch Paul the Legend Berman quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So let me get our timer in. Hopefully it's a little better. That could be right. Did I have it wrong last time? Probably.
Up the hour.
Oh, is it?
The clock's wrong.
It shows what I know. Haha. Yeah. Got there. Alright, we've already got players sitting down. This should be a fun one. So here I'll switch stuff up while we watch people shuffle. That's just what we do, right?
Shuffle cams are what we are. All day, every day.
Fetch lands have conditioned people well. Shuffle. Alright. Alright, so we got Ryan on Turbo Depths. Should be fun.
It should be an okay matchup for Turbo Depths.
I think so.
Do see a
Century Step
edict in hand for Corey.
Well, that's probably the only one he's got in his main, and he's gonna be pretty happy to keep a hand with that as long as he has lands.
Edict's still very beatable.
Yeah.
Turbo Depths usually plays a decent amount of discard.
Discard plus Sylvan Safekeeper plus additional Hex Mages.
Plus, you can just turn one them. You know, turn one. Here's my 2020. Go.
Come on, Ryan. Spam the 2020s. That's right.
Looking at a hand. It's got crop rotation, pedal, couple lands. Gonna keep it scried at the top. Being
Land
on
fetch.
the draw for Ryan is gonna make this hand even a little bit worse.
So he does have a Hex Mage, a Crop Rot, a Pedal. What's that back card?
Couldn't quite see it there.
My mind said Exploration, and I don't think this deck plays that, so can't be right. That can't be right. Oh, is it a Living Wish? Is this deck the Living Wish version?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I've got Dried Arbor as well.
Sylvan Scrying could be.
Is it a Sylvan Scrying?
Could be.
Oh, I think it is a Sylvan Scrying. Man, I cannot see it.
My guess would be Sylvan Scrying.
That would make more sense.
Alright, Verdant Catacombs. Play a pedal. Pass turn. Thinking about it.
Just slam your Hex Mage here.
Be tempting. It's probably the incorrect thing to do.
Yeah, I think so.
Kind of unfortunate to have that Arbor in hand. You'd much rather have it in your deck. But does play well against the Edict in hand for Corey.
Jebediah wants him to slam Needle on Scalding Turn. I don't know why, but I just don't feel like that's something that's going to happen.
That would be like the biggest rub-ins.
Hey, one can wish, especially if that really is a living wish. I still haven't seen it. So he does decide to just go for the Hex Mage. I'm actually a fan of this.
Hex Mage down. That seems alright.
It might end up being bad, but
I think opening it up to removal so quickly is kind of a problem.
okay. You're waiting for a more obvious turn.
And your opponent plays Underground Sea, which means in this room probably either Delver or 4-color. There's not much Storm in the room.
Yeah.
Or other combo. So you know you're facing off against one of those two matches. You can't beat a Daze if they're Delver-ish. You can't beat removal if they have it. I think I'd rather hold it.
Right. Guys, I'm the only reason I'm saying Living Wish is because I know that this is Patrick's deck, and he's had Living Wish in it before. I don't think that this one does, but
Here comes a hymn. And
it's going to be
ooh,
Pithing Needle and Dryad Arbor.
getting that Dryad Arbor could be big.
Yeah, it really could.
That might be a Living Wish.
There's a reason I think it is one.
Yeah.
Like,
In for 2.
I think
If it's a Living Wish, you're probably playing it there.
I think so. You probably go get a Thespian Stage.
Yeah. Strixes are annoying in this matchup. They block for a turn.
Yeah. Oh, here comes my 2020.
I have a 2020
All right, now I just need
All right.
some Jury Step off the top.
step or crop rotation or mana source that's not a land into Sylvan's Scrying, right?
Safekeeper would be good too.
Safekeeper would be okay.
Duress. Duress is good.
This guy use it though.
No,
Not gonna.
he passes. All right.
Edict. And Ryan's gonna be looking at that duress going,
Why did I not duress?
Hindsight 2020. Duress you
He's
now.
like, yeah, now I'll duress you.
Sees him, Ponder, Snapcaster, Leo, Deluge, and another Strix.
Guess you just take him.
Unfortunate.
Look at that Urborg's just helping Corey out as well.
Yeah, totally. It makes those underground seas produce blue, black, black.
Hey, if he went and got a volcanic island, it'd look pretty good.
FIFA Snapcaster.
See? Told you. Watch, he's gonna go get like... Well, I guess if he gets Tropical Island as well. Yeah, see? Doing work.
Bug Island. Alright, Strix comes down, draws crop rotation.
I really cannot tell what that card is.
We're gonna find out right here.
It is
That
Sylvan
is
Scrying.
a Sylvan Scrying.
It looks so weird in his hand. I don't know why.
So if he'd drawn either another Petal or a Spirit Guide last, I guess 2 turns ago now, that would have been game.
He just needed to duress.
He just needed to duress.
That's all he needed to do. Who cares about your pedal? Duress your opponent.
I understand why he didn't do it.
Yeah.
He had no mana source at the time. Like, it's really unfortunate.
I think Corey's feeling pretty good about it.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably thinking, good choice, Ryan.
Oh yeah.
It's also main deck though, like
oh yeah, who expects main deck? Like,
yeah, I mean he probably knows that there is an Edict main deck, but the fact that Corey actually started with it in his hand,
yeah.
The Snapcaster in hand is threatening a second one, so or does he still have that in hand?
All right, there's a Dark Depths, and we do know that there's crop rotation in hand, so this could be another 2020 this turn.
There's a Snapcaster.
Yeah, that is the problem. There is very much a Snapcaster mage. And I think we're going to see that Snapcaster mage get used here.
I think that'll draw a concession as well.
Don't do it, Ryan. You've got so much to live for.
Doesn't he know about it too? When he duressed, he saw it.
I think he did, but sometimes you just say, well, whatever.
He's like, I'm still fine. Untap.
Pass turn.
Was it Sylvan Safekeeper pass?
Something like that. In for 6 a turn. Will be pretty quick, but that game is over. Corey's going to take that one.
I think Paul got game 1. There's just a Merit Lage token chilling on the board. I feel like that's an indicator. I'm right. He saw the snap already. I thought he did, because that's when I remember seeing it, was when he duressed the turn after his first Merit Lage died.
All right.
So the other match is also shuffling, so we're just going to stay here.
On to the sideboard.
So Turbo Depths just seems like a difficult deck to play. It's always a different puzzle.
It is. And it's very hard. A lot of times you're working off of imperfect information out of your opponent. You're just trying to hedge about what to fight against. Ryan is able to take out the needles, which aren't great here. He can at least shave down on them and add sideboard room. He gets to bring in cards like Ground Seal. If he has them, he can bring in, if he has room, he can bring in like maybe a Surgical or something like that just to mess up Snapcasters. And
he probably has a Mistress Factory on sideboard.
Factory is a good one to bring in as well. Just a little added protection against Edict.
Which we can assume that Corey's going to bring in more.
Yeah. I think the big thing that you'll see Ryan bring in is some number of library, Sylvan Library.
Okay.
And
plan for the long game.
Trying to beat out cards like him.
Okay.
But we'll see.
And there was one time I was playing against a person here, playing Turbo Depths, and they were trying out a new card that says whenever an opponent has you discard a card, you may put it on the top of your the discarded card on top of your library. It's a land.
Yep.
I think it's from like Eldritch Moon or something.
Yeah.
And I actually made him discard so much that like the top of his deck was just a bunch of cards that he had discarded. And he looked at the match after I won, and he was like, I think I may have put too much back on top, and I was like, I think so. But it was kind of sweet tech. Yeah, it was Tony. Yeah, he was doing that for a little bit. It was a really unique thought.
Yeah,
Can't remember what the card is called.
I know exactly what card you're talking about.
Yeah.
Can't remember its name for the life of me, but
I'm curious. Chat, help if you can. I know what set it's from, so I can probably do a filtered search pretty fast. I'm like almost positive it's from Eldershman.
I agree.
This one, Nephalia Academy. Right?
Is that the one? I don't think so.
Yeah, if a spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to discard a card, you may reveal that card and put it on top of your library instead of putting it anywhere else.
Yep, that's the one.
It's a weird card.
Very weird.
Nephalia Academy. No, I don't know. No, Ryan's not going to be running any sweet tech like that. How boring. That just made me think of that card.
All right, Ryan's on the play. Opens up with the basic snow-covered forest.
Kept in Pithing Needle. No,
It's okay to keep in like a needle.
this is just going to be Deathray Shaman, right? Like, what or Jace.
Deathrite Shaman Jace. If he fears Liliana, he could name Liliana, something like that.
Okay.
But at this point in the game, it's probably Deathrite.
Why play it on turn 1 though?
Yeah, a little bit unsure.
At least cast it at an awkward moment when they have fetches on the field.
Yeah.
You know? All right.
Okay.
Opposing Pithing Needle.
The Needle Mirror.
Oh, man. Now, this is probably naming Stage or Hexmage. It's going to be one of the two, right? You're just going to, like, take them off of...
Basic Forest, I'd probably name Stage. Just seems the more likely route.
That they would take. Then they play Urborg and you cry?
Yeah, for sure. Like, you have to choose one of the two that you're going to fight against. I think the Stage is more robust. You have more answers to the Hexmage, so...
Okay. Well, here's an Elvish Spirit Guide, and we're going to cast the Sylvan Scrying. This... You gonna force this? I guess it depends what got named, right?
Yeah.
If you named Hexmage, then you force this.
Yep.
If you named Stage, you might let this resolve. Maybe Hexmage.
Could be. We see a Surgical in hand for Ryan. Should probably hold on to that until he's closer to comboing off. But when he does, he'll be able to snag Force and see if the coast is clear.
Kind of strange to see Ryan without a City of Traders in play. I agree. I absolutely agree. He's been lending out some of that stuff so that people can play like Steel Stompy and some other, prison style decks lately. I think Ryan's just happy to show up and play Legacy. And if somebody offers him a deck, he's like, oh yeah, we can trade this week, or we can...
It was nice to switch things up a little bit.
Yeah.
Alright, so second Force in hand for Corey. And let's see if that...
He is one of the nicest people.
Into the north.
So one of the tells that you can see when your opponent is on Turbo Depths and they play a basic, they're not playing into the north. But when you see a basic snow covered, usually they're on into the north. Not that that's like a huge tell in any way, shape, or form, but like into the north comes down, probably gonna grab the swamp.
Yep. Have everything else.
He doesn't really need another Dark Depths.
It's legendary.
Yep. Yeah, I've actually had a lot of good conversations with Ryan. He's super awesome, and he stepped in for Bryce on Tuesday to cast with me. Just a fun person. Ponder from Corey. Flusterstorm, Ponder Land. Don't think any of those are really what he's looking for.
Nope. Takes the Fluster. Plays Deathrite. Settles the draw and the play. Here comes Duress. Tempted to do something about it, like brainstorm.
I think you're at least brainstorming, but
Just lets it resolve. Wow.
just cast Flusterstorm.
Be really tempted to take the brainstorm here. Yep.
I would too.
Especially you've got that surgical in hand.
You think taking him off a brainstorm is important with surgical?
Well, he has it for the force, right?
Yeah.
So he can pretty much get rid of any interaction. Unfortunately, Corey with more brainstorms in the works. Welcome to the grind. Here's the map. And that is not Flusterstormable.
No.
Map is going to get something. I'm not sure what you'd get here. Might just be Bayou. It could be Urborg.
That's
Looks like it's a Bajuka Bog. That seems odd to me. It takes away some Deathrite food, but then what did you name with Needle? Sylvan Scrying.
What did he name with Needle? You think it was actually Jace? I mean, how many other things are actually in this deck that
Jace or Lily.
are good to name?
Yeah, not much to name, to be honest. Suppose he could fear Wasteland and name Wasteland, but you should know that 4-color doesn't play Wasteland.
4-color has no room for that.
Yeah.
Ryan should know that.
Yeah.
So that would be a surprising name if
For sure.
that actually happened.
Corey's side, pretty sure at this point that it's that stage that was named.
Okay.
Otherwise, we would have probably seen an activation.
That makes me surprised that the Sylvan Scrying got forced then.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, maybe he actually fears that the opponent has something like Hex Mage, and then you go and get the Sinjuri step, and I don't know. How often do you actually Sylvan Scrying for Sinjuri step with this deck? Usually you
Not often.
yeah usually you can crop rotation for it.
Mm-hmm. write what they name on a scrap of paper. Yeah.
Yeah, it's complicated to even get people to use our dice sometimes, Darkfire.
Mm-hmm.
So asking each and every player to do something like that is a little harder than it sounds. We don't have a person at the table like like Star City does or something like that.
All right. Well, here is Hex Mage, and that's gotta get forced if stage is the name, and it looks like it is.
Yeah, it's not that we couldn't do that. I mean, I could always go out there and tell them, but I think that's kind of lame if I have to get up and make the room every single time.
And here comes Surgical. And here comes Surgical. Surgical, my own. Keep the rest in deck.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. That's one way to protect things.
Thanks, Darkfire. Appreciate it. That's a ground seal. I mean, it's at least a redraw.
It's a redraw, and it'll shut off that death right. Not too bad.
So Ryan's looking for one card, and he needs to draw it in like the next 3 turns.
Yep. He only has 3 left in the deck.
That's not gonna do it.
Not one of them.
Another thing that he could draw is something that actually takes care of the opposing Pithing Needle.
True.
I don't know what he would have brought in. Maybe Abrupt
Sometimes
Decay?
Abrupt Decays. Yeah.
I think Abrupt Decay would probably be a fine card in this matchup to bring in, just taking care of death rights and slowing down the opponent.
Yep.
And if you really are worried about Liliana the Veil, then that could be fine too.
For sure. Yeah, he should be naturally taking counters off of that Dark Depths.
Wait a minute. Jebediah, are you trying to say that Dark Depths has another ability besides just sitting there and waiting for the counters to come off?
It has text.
Really? Huh.
I thought it just had giant dice.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
That Jace is going to be very problematic. We're looking at pretty much...
I don't think that he would have been able to... I don't know if he would have been able to race it anyway, thawing out the depths, but...
We're in Utah?
Yeah, we're in Utah. Go on.
I think we're in Utah.
Last I checked, we're in Utah. I think what Jebediah is saying is that we together are in Utah.
Oh. Well, I'm in Utah. Are you in
Utah?
No,
it's a question mark. No, I'm not sure. I'm lost. We're in Utah, but I'm lost. Maybe this Sylvan Safekeeper coming in to block a Deathrite Shaman for a turn. No. Lightning bolts.
Yeah. Bolt you.
Got him. Done.
And Ryan falls to 4 color.
You're not in Utah? What are you doing not in Utah? I don't understand. Alright.
Are you sure? Have you checked?
Did you check?
Alright. It's a good thing.
Corey takes that one down. It looks like our other match is over too. I think Paul won in very, very fast games.
In a very Merit-Lagey fashion.
How do witch?
Yeah,
of course.
Are you a witch doctor by chance?
It does kind of look like it says witch in your name, but I can see that it's how do I twitch?
How do it witch?
Oh, they totally are a doctor. Look at that.
Oh man.
All right, guys. I think we're done. Our other table doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot, and Paul's mat's not there. So come back. Oh, man, 20 minutes early. What is this?
Man.
So we're just gonna entertain them for 20 more minutes, right?
Yeah, totally.
20 more minutes, guys. No answers. All right.
All
I guess we'll end the stream for tonight. Can 10-year-olds be doctors? Can be witch doctors?
I don't know.
No.
Man. You tell me.
You're the 10-year-old. Come on, Mason. Don't be ridiculous. Where can I sign up? All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Tuesdays and Fridays. Tuesday will be at 7 Mountain Standard Time, and Fridays at 7:30 Mountain Standard Time. Always Legacy 4 rounds. Come join us. And then if you ever see if you've given us a follow and you see us jump on earlier in the day, that means that we're doing some MTGO. I know that Brian is just about to go into surgery, so he might stream from home, maybe do a little bit of food chain from there. I might come in and do a little bit of Nick's Fit. It's kind of play it by ear as far as when we do it during the day. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, and have a fantastic night.
Hail Heroes.